Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV on what is a disgusting day in London. I would try, that's as bright as it gets. It's horrible, it's wet, it's windy, everything's blowing around. But Tottenham Hotspur might be cold, might be wet, might be windy. Yay! We've got a new kit. Clearly that means we mean business. All this Champions League qualification, and we're doing absolutely nothing. By the way, sorry, bear with me 1 second. My skybox has gone completely again. I'll tell you what, I'm getting a little bit annoyed with my back in for 6 seconds. There we go. Let's see what's happening. Hello, says my Sky. Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you all. Hope you're well. Listen, another day. Another Spurs saga. Today, we have announced we've got a new kit. It's as cheesy as you like, the video. Take a vow. Take a vow. We'll have a look at it together in a minute, won't we? The take a vow. Can't really see too much different with any other kit we've had, if I'm honest, but some people love it. They'll lap it up. They'll buy it. Then they'll complain about Daniel Levy. You've got Donna Cullen left yesterday. Ryan Mason will talk about it as well. Talks of new owners. Talks of a new chairman. There is rumours of players, but we don't yet know who our actual director of football is. Sorry, I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to sorting out my skybox, and it's doing that thing where it says when the screen goes blank, press the home button. So it's all happening without happening, if that makes sense. And this was meant to be the summer. This is the most important summer, wasn't it? And Spurs need to get going because, yes, it's only the 3rd of June, right? It is only the 3rd of June. But the problem that you've got, right, is other clubs are moving. And I'll ask this question. There's a video coming out on this later on today. Who are the actual winners of this Europa League? Is it Tottenham Hotspur, who look like we're in an absolute mess? Or is it Man United, who already, Cunha over the line, and Brom in talks? And Brom has picked Man United. All of these people, all of these people that keep telling me, just put the money down, right? We're Spurs. If we're in the Champions League, the bigger clubs get the better players. It's the way of the world. I know people don't want to hear it. But Brom apparently has said he didn't want to go to Newcastle or to Tottenham or to Forest. And apparently Man United are his destination. So more on that story in a minute. But take a vow. Take a vow. What do you even mean? What do you even mean? And why have I still got no signal on my skybox? Oh, this is infuriating. Come on. There we go. We're back. We're back. We know that Job Bellingham... I'll tell you what, should we have a little look? Should we have a little look at some of the things that Fabrizio Romano is saying? Let's start as we mean to go on. Before we do, good morning to Callum Mallin with a super sticker. Love the super stickers. Let's have a super sticky. Let's not have a super sticky party. Let's have a super sticker party. Big up. Good morning to each and every one of you. I'm trying to get more light in. I don't know what has happened outside today. Big up to you, Callum. Very, very generous. Guys and girls, just so you know, across this channel and the second channel, you always complaining. Tribal Chief, another troll, no name, no real name, no picture, wants to be taken seriously. Let's all give Tribal Chief his 30 seconds or her 30 seconds of fame. Everybody, welcome Tribal Chief in. Troll of the day so far. I'm sure we'll get a better troll. Troll of the day, Tribal Chief. Everybody say hello in the chat right now. Come on, let's... Hello, Tribal Chief. Hello, everybody. Tribal Chief. Hello. Morning. Morning. You always complaining. Tribal Chief, I don't know about you. I want my football club to be better. And people like you just say, it's all right. The window doesn't... What are we doing? Let's get moving. Who's the manager? Who's the owners? Who's the director of football? What's happening? Who are we buying? We're sitting back. We're watching Man United pick up Cunha and Mbeumo. That's just added them about 55 to 60 goal contributions a season to their forward line, right? Come on, what are we doing? Where's our Where's our oomph? Where's our emphasis to go and get things done? You know, I get all these people that tell me I'm negative. I love it. But is being negative, wanting more, wanting better footballers, better players, better scouts, better managers, if that's negative, cool. I'll tell you what I'm going to do then. Anybody from now on, when their wife, their husband, their partner, whatever, comes up to them and says, let's move house. I want a bigger house. No, no, no. Don't be negative. Don't be negative and move house. You've got a house. Yeah, I want new clothes today. No, 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 no. You've got clothes. Don't be negative. You've got clothes. Oh, I need new shoes for work or school. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You've got shoes. You've got trainers for work or for school. You don't need anything. Just remember, don't be negative and want better. Don't be negative. What do you mean, Mark Zuckerberg? What do you mean? You own Facebook and you bought WhatsApp. No, no, no. Don't be negative, Mark. You can't want better. That's what these people do. They don't want better. They want mediocre. They want mediocre. They want luck. They want a cup run and finish 17th. But don't worry, people. We're the negative ones. Just remember that. We're the negative ones. Exactly. Appreciate the shed you have now. Exactly. I love that. Big up to the Phil Army. Here he is, the leader of the Phil Army. Phil P inside the house. Let's have a little look, shall we? Let's have a look at Romano. We'll have a look at completely different situations. Not really. Not really. You want better for your club. It's the same as your personal life. Why do you want better things in your life? Why do you want better things in your life? Right? Because they're nicer. They're better to watch. Why do you want a bigger TV? Bigger to watch, better color, better sound. Right? Yeah? Come on. This is what I mean. You can all apply it to football. I'm going to apply it to the rest of life. Right? Why do YouTubers who get much bigger get YouTube studios? Why do they get big sets? Why do they get cameramen? Why? Just sit in your room and do it if that's the case. So always remember that, people. Yeah? Always remember that, people. When people say you're negative because you don't want to sign Matisse Tell, yeah? Let's have a look. Demetrius, are you still blaming Ange? He's the one telling the club, don't buy me. He is the one telling the club, don't buy me new better. It doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, Demetrius. Are you still blaming Ange? He is the one telling the club, don't buy me new better. I don't know what that means. I'm so sorry. I don't know what that means. Big up to you. Savva is definitely a rage baiter. Oh, Gulab. Oh, imagine being that young and silly that you say things like rage baiter. Oh, bless you. Well done, Gulab. Thank you. Really, really, really enjoyed that comment. Right. We can cook trolls all day long. They come here, they're going to get cooked. Big up to each and every one of you. Aside from the trolls, good morning, Kate Rixham. Good morning, Phil Coys. Good morning, C to the fourth. Good morning, and Jozzy. I've seen something about I don't know what to deal with. For years and years, we finished hype in the league. Next one, nothing was called bottlers for years. Now we have won something. Fans like Savva don't know how to deal with it. Yes, I do. Get back up that table and win something. Really simple. Fans like Savva. Dude, you've supported Tottenham Hotspur for 2 years. 2 years. I've supported Spurs for 40 years, mate. Jog on. This is what I love. All these new fans. Fans like Savva. Fair weather fans like Savva. Yeah, Savva, whose life is talking about Tottenham Hotspur, is fair weather. Savva, who's been going for 40 years all around Europe and the world. Fair weather. You can't write these trolls. I absolutely love the trolls. They keep, do you know what? I've got a different perspective on YouTube lately and the trolls. Big up to my man Ash in the chat. Said all along getting Champions League means nothing. Well, at the moment, listen, this is what Spurs need to do, right? This is what Spurs need to do. We need to show it does mean something, but you're absolutely right. Big up to Matty K for the super sticker. Big up to you and happy birthday for the other day. And don't ever message me again. Matty K, much love to you, brother, and good luck for your exam. I think it's tomorrow, isn't it? So good luck to you, my man. I hope you're well. Big up to the Aussie Ange hater. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you. Thank you very much. There are people in Australia who would welcome me with open arms. Big up to you, my man. Thank you very much. And Chris Kendall, thank you. I said they're saying this morning Ryan Mason left because he couldn't work under Ange any longer. Players turning us down because of his tactics too. Look, I'll be honest, I don't agree with that. I think that Ryan Mason just wants to go. I think he deserves the chance to go and become a manager in his own right. We'll never know about this stuff. We'll never know about this stuff till later on when they release autobiographies. But listen, I wouldn't want to work for Ange. I couldn't sit, be a coach and watch those tactics. But good luck to Ryan Mason, and we will be going through this when we get past the preamble. But big up to you, Chris Kendall. Very generous. Really, really do appreciate you. Appreciate everyone that has smashed that like button so far. 400 in the house and counting. Only 90 likes. Let's smash that button. And we are heading towards 19,000. We've flown past the 18,150 marker in about 4 days. So big up to each and every one of you. Let's see who else is in the chat, shall we? Let's see if there's any comments that really grab me. And God, who knows, Chris, who knows? I mean, at the moment, do we even know who the owner's going to be next year? God knows what's going on at this football club. Who knows? But what we do know is it's never dull. There are other clubs. Imagine we supported and we did YouTube on it. It would be painfully boring. Tottenham are not that. Big up to Rob, who said, I nearly committed the ultimate sin, but I've now corrected by tagging the thumbs up. Boom. Big up to you, Rob. I've got energy today. Nothing anyone can say is going to bring me down today. I just had good news. So nobody's going to bring me down today. And the trolls are going to be trolling, and I'm going to be putting out the trolls. Yeah, we should get a T-shirt with Savva. You know, like those Ghostbuster things, whatever that was called. That and a YouTube troll getting zapped by me. Good morning to Arrow. How are you? Good morning to Gareth, who said, Savva, doesn't matter what, they have an honour in goal. Yeah, sure. But listen, if they're buying players like Mbeumo and Cunha, I'm jealous. Yeah, I want Mbeumo. I want Cunha. Big up TTID. Negative equals talking actual facts. Yeah, people don't like it, mate. Don't say facts. Facts hurt feelings. Don't say it. Don't say it. Because if you don't say it, it can't be true. Big up to each and every one of you. Here they are. More Phil Army. More Phil Army. We want to win. Sure. Everyone wants to win. We just don't want to be the laughing stock of the Premier League at the same time. Notorious PIG. Notorious. Absolutely. I hope Ryan Mason does well. Good luck to the lad. I really hope that he takes a few of our youngsters there as well to get them some championship experience. That would be very, very interesting. I want a refrigerator so I don't get food poisoning if I want to eat food. But you can't. Yeah, you can't want better. Can't want better. I agree with the stuff you say, but wouldn't you agree Spurs is a cup team? I mean, we haven't been a cup team for 20 odd years, but I would agree that Spurs are a very rich football club that need to actually go and not be a cup team. That's what I would say. Good morning. Where are we? Big up Matty K. He's ordered a long sleeve shirt. A fake one. Okay, good. Love what you're doing. Who else we got in the chat? Why aren't we going for Klopp? I can't imagine Klopp would want to work with Levy. Can you? Maybe if you get a new chairman. Savatel's going to be good next season. I'm not even answering that. I'm not even going to answer that. Anyone have a link to the new Spurs kit? Yes, it's on the website, my man. It's on the website. Balpinda, good morning, sir. How are you? I don't think I've seen you for a while, but good morning to you. Nothing changes. Well, listen, we've got to start. We've got to dip our toe in. If we want to get Leroy Sané, because that's who we're linked with, get the deal done. Let's, some of these other clubs just go bish, bash, bosh. Spurs seem to take forever. Big up to my man, Atavatron Wembley. Good morning to you. Good morning to Bertie Isaacs. A troll is a bully, just stating things how we see it in our opinions. A troll isn't necessarily a bully. That's not what an internet troll is. No. Yeah, but there's a difference. When people come on and say silly stuff like, you fair weather fans, they're a troll. Anybody who says childish things like that, like go and support Arsenal, troll. Fair weather fans, troll. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Come on, you purrs. I said football fandom is no different to politics. If your opinion isn't favourable, you are wrong. Get called names. If you get under someone's skin for telling the truth, you're doing something right. Big up to you. Brett, as I've said, opinions are opinions, but when they're ridiculous, when people are just blowing like the wind, when people are saying fair weather fans, it's silly. James, the trolls, man, they're just, we could deal with them all day long. We've never had a good squad good enough to compete on multiple fronts. Reezy, absolute bollocks. How did Pochettino have us fourth in the Premier League and in a Champions League final then if the squad wasn't good enough to compete on multiple fronts? Complete bollocks. This is this is the narrative and lie that people tell you to spin things. It's the lie that Stell's been telling, that when have we done it? So, okay, let me take you back to Spain. Pochettino versus Liverpool in the final. If Spurs had won that final, we're top four in the league and we've won the Champions League. So we're saying 90 minutes difference means that we can't do both. Not hearing it. So this isn't true. I will dispel the myths from the trolls all day long. They'll have to install a cricket scoreboard for the Super Cup. Well, let's see who we buy, who the manager is. Let's see what sort of tactics Ange brings us over the summer. Let's see if he actually decides next season he wants to coach. Here we go. Fabrizio Romano has just said, and again, people like Matty K, you're going to need to listen to this. And I might actually just show you this. Here we go. Right. Let's have a little look, shall we, at what Fabrizio Romano said this morning. We'll have a look at Florian Plettenberg, and we'll have a look at Ornstein as well. Three people I very much trust. Right, let's have a look at this, shall we? And again, for anyone, this isn't my X account. I don't use X. This is my friend's X account that he allows me to use for transfer windows. Let's have a look what's being said here, shall we? First of all, the breaking news today was that Bruno Fernandes has rejected Al Hilal. So again, when the likes of little Matty K tell me money, there are some footballers with their integrity in place. He has turned down Al Hilal as he wants to play at the top level in Europe. Another one that's going to put little Matty K in a spin. There you go. Edison, told you Edison would not be coming to a club at Tottenham Hotspur. Al Hilal have made contact with Edison's camp after Bruno Fernandes' decision. Telling you, apparently Inter Milan are going to be going after him as well, but can't find the funds. After that, we've got Napoli maintain their plan for Kevin De Bruyne to join the club after international games with Belgium. Real Madrid are showing interest in Moroccan 16-year-old talent Azzedine Ouazzane from Ajax. Crystal Palace, another club, very, very good in the transfer market. Crystal Palace, another club, very good. Showing interest in Juventus defender Thiago Diallo ahead of summer plans to bring in a new centre-back. Clearly, it looks like Guehi will be leaving. Diallo expected to leave Juventus after a loan spell at Porto. Crystal Palace have included him in a free-man shortlist. Crystal Palace just scout so well. Al Hilal have agreed terms with AC Milan for Theo Hernandez of AC Milan. Let's have a look here. Federico Chiesa possibly talking about going back to Juventus. Real Madrid, decision on Nico Paz's future imminent. Let's have a look here. Barcelona are advancing on all formal steps for one Joan Garcia, the goalkeeper who's very highly rated, very good player. Fabrizio Romano said, understand that Olympic Lyon are closing in on a deal side Danilo from Forest for 25 million. We already had that one. And Joe Bellingham, it looks like he's in talks with Borussia Dortmund. Let's scroll up. Let's have a look at what Florian Plettenberg has said. Florian Plettenberg this morning saying, not that one, saying a move for Harvey Elliott to buy Leverkusen is no longer being considered. So no longer Harvey Elliott to buy Leverkusen. As reported, Bruno Fernandes will not be moving to Al Hilal. The story yesterday again confirmed today that Man United want to start negotiations with Brentford shortly in order to finalise the deal for Brian and Mbeumo. The player has already given his approval. Verbal agreement is done. They're optimistic to get the transfer through. There's more about Garcia, the goalkeeper, Joe Bellingham again. And then let's have a look at what David Ornstein has said this morning. Let's see if he has said anything this morning. Let's have a look. Let's go to the top. So we know Liverpool trying to get Slot, trying to get Wirtz, but it looks like Man City are going to get Ryan Cherky. More talk about Brian and Mbeumo, and then Nuri to Man City. So there's a lot going on in the world. None of it involves us at the moment. None of it is involving Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. Savva's got what he's been begging for. Ange out. I mean, Ange hasn't left the building, has he? I haven't seen Angepostecoglou leave. So Savva hasn't got what he's been begging for. Strange terminology there. Big up to you. Let's have a look. Let's go through. You okay, Savva? Are you asking if I'm okay or telling me? Either way, thank you. Good morning to Kate or Jim or Kim or Jate, whichever way you want to call them. Big up to both of you guys. Please get over and subscribe to The Perfect Match. Subscribe to all the Spurs channels. I'm not one of these who wants to belittle other channels. Subscribe to every Spurs channel. Let's stop the hate. Let's subscribe to each other. Let's be friends with each other, shall we? Where are we? Let's see. Do you think there is any truth to the Qatari takeover rumors? Oh, mate. I mean, look, all I can say is it's Tottenham Hotspur. Who knows? We are, sorry, 8 pints a day. 8 pints a day. We are going to be in the news for everything. New owners, new chairman, new director of football, new manager, new players. It's just going to be crazy, isn't it? Tottenham Hotspur is going to be crazy. Yeah, listen, Bader, of course. I mean, if I had £1 for every single time somebody said to me, wait till the end of the window closes, and you know how it's going to go. Let's have a look. Christian Falk has said Tottenham in intense negotiation. Oh my gosh, this annoys me. Christian Falk said Tottenham in intense negotiations to sign Matisse Tell. What on earth are we doing? What on earth are we doing? I mean, if Ange is still here and green lights that, I've got to be asking questions from the director of football to Ange to the chairman. I mean, this is ridiculous. Did Mrs. Savva treat me last night as you're buzzing? Yeah, I'm going to tell all the internet about what me and Mrs. Savva get up to, aren't I? Big up Bob Barrick. How you doing, my man? So Savva is definitely not a fair weather streamer either. So smash that like button. Bang on. It's funny, isn't it? I see the people that give the viewers the most content seem to get the most stick. It's fun, isn't it? It's fun. It's all good fun. Chris has said you're up and about. Makes me think you have some inside goss on Ange going. I don't, mate. I don't get inside goss. I hear things like the rest of the world does. I've got people who know people, but how many things do we get told a year that are just completely wrong? At the moment, I look, at the moment, Ange is our manager. I keep saying it. He's our manager until he isn't. He is, and we need to get on with the transfer window. Machina Joe says, Savva is the voice for the common man. They want to silence you. They won't silence me. So one message that now I don't know that, but now I don't at all, but you will. No. It's not about a message I don't like. It's about when people just say stupid shit over and over again, Brett, isn't it? It's when people just say stupid things like, you're a fair weather fan. It's such a childish comment, Brett. Surely you get that. It's so stupid. You know, I mean, Brett, are you taking the piss out of me here? Why are your subs so low for the amount of work you do? Are my subs so low? I mean, I've been doing this a lot less than some of the bigger channels, and I've got haven't I got a decent amount of subs? Am I that poor? Oh, my subs. I don't know. People always mention that my subs are low. I'm pretty sure there's many out there that would like to be on over 18,000, aren't there? I'm pretty sure there is. Hey, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. Savva, work harder. Yeah, I know. Matisse Tell, if he is the first signing, oh my God. And Jozzy, again, I tell you, when I say stupid shit, it's this. You need to remember Ange finished 5th without Prime Kane. So what? Chelsea just finished 4th and they've got Nicholas Jackson up front. Chelsea have got Nicholas Jackson up front and just finished 4th. What's Prime Kane got to do with anything? Nottingham Forest just finished in Europe. They've got Chris Wood up front. What's that got to do with anything? I'm getting really bored of this Harry Kane. He left 2 years ago. Move on. Ange never had Kane. Thank you. Ange never had Kane. He didn't lose him. He never, ever had him. Daniel, this is my worry, my man. This is my worry. Oh, gosh, this is my worry. Matisse Tell. We have fans in our fan base that don't understand football, that watch him and think that's the guy for the right now. That's the worrying thing. Those fans don't really understand a lot about football, do they? They really don't understand. But it is what it is. It's up to them. It's up to them. Just like the stream, let's go. Machina Joe has said, I read the dumbest comment ever on another channel. An Aussie Ange fan said, if Ange gets sacked, he's going straight to... Let's see what some of these fans do. Let's see, not all of them, but let's see what some of these fans do, shall we? Because it's like that guy, Terry, who called into me the other day. He kept saying you when talking about Spurs, not we. It's like, okay, well, if it's you, don't get involved. If it's not we, don't get involved. If you support Spurs purely because Ange is here and you're going to leave when Ange goes, you're not a Spurs fan, are you? You're just not a Spurs fan. It's just absolutely crazy. I mean, if we get Sane and Tell, you've already got Brennan Johnson, you've got Moore, you've got Brian Hill, Kulu can play out there as well. You've got Odegaard. You have to ask yourself the question, Matty, how many wingers do you need? It's just madness. Matty, I didn't think my subs were low, but hey, it is what it is. We'll get there. We'll fly up that YouTube subs table. I'll tell you what I have got. Perchy and I were looking at this yesterday. I have got very good subs to views ratio. I'm very proud of that. The number of subs I've got compared to the number of views I get are one of the highest on football YouTube. We were looking at this yesterday, so I'm very proud of that. Subs are for show, views are for dough, if you haven't heard that saying. Yeah, well, Danso was an obligation, right? So we knew that Danso would be coming. Good defender, does his job. I've got no problem with that. Mike Zappa, mate, you're telling me I think Tell is worse than Timo Werner. It looks like we're signing him. If we do, any fan that wants him can never complain about signings at Tottenham again. I've said that. Phil Coys in my chat loves Tell. I say to him, if you want that signing, never complain. Next season, I never want to hear, oh, but look at the players we've got. Nope. You want to sign players like Tell, that's on you. They don't understand football because they watch the dross they're served up. Moore and Yang will go out on loan and Hill and Solomon will be sold. Sure. Doesn't mean we need Matisse Tell. Doesn't. You can spin this. You can spin your bad opinion whichever way you want, Phil. Your flip-flop opinions. You can spin them how you want, mate. We don't need Tell. It's ridiculous. Savva, watching you and watching a podcast last night, then surely you, Savva, as a fan, is more balanced fan and talks more sense. I don't quite understand that, Lynn, if I'm brutally honest. I don't quite understand, but I'm going to take it. Big up, Derek Hutchinson. Big up to you, my man. I hope you are well. Matty, I think Solomon is better than Tell and Odegaard. I do, but we know he's going to be leaving. We know. Mike Zappa said Paratici must block the Tell deal. Surely that's what he is there for. Mate, I'm just so genuinely baffled by our fan base. They want to turn down. It's funny. If you're going to keep that energy, I don't want a Thomas Frank. Cool. Don't want a Matisse Tell. Right? It's madness. It's absolutely madness. And Josny, here we go. Oh God, here we go. I haven't even read this. Let's go. Savva, a fan like you should know that each season is not the same. Sure. Different teams, circumstances. Sure. Players and managers will occur every year. Sure. Sheffield United finished 7th, then got relegated. Sure. And what's your point to that? Let me know a point. Marianne, absolutely, I'm with you. Please not no. Please no. I don't understand it. I've never understood it. Fans wanting terrible players. I don't get it. He's not terrible. That's harsh. He's young and he's done nothing, but we're going to get him. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. Oh, mate. I don't doubt Phil has got, honestly, the worst football opinions I've ever seen. 90 minutes made this man turn to Ange in. Like, he's got the worst football opinions I've seen. He's a lovely guy, but just somebody needs to sit him down and give him a football tutorial because he doesn't quite get it. Big up to It's My Face. Said that now that Mason is gone, will we hire a proper assistant coach or will we get one from inside the club? Well, listen, I'm hoping we get a brand new coaching team. But listen, that leads me on nicely. Let's stop that screen. Let's go to this screen. Let's go to the official website. Let's see what's going on, shall we? So, Tottenham Hotspur today. There we go. Nope, not that one. Yep, that one. Tottenham Hotspur today. The home kit unveiled. Take a vow. We've seen the kit. It is what it is. I don't lose my shit over kits. I don't really care, if I'm going to be brutally honest. It is what it is. I'm going to gloss over this point very quickly. If people want to talk about the kit, then please do. I've seen the video. Very cheesy, very PR driven from Spurs. Very PR driven, but that's what's going on there. If we then scroll down, we'll have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this. Thank you to Ryan Mason. Let's open that. And yeah, let's remember that Ryan Mason, whatever you think about him, Ryan Mason, thank you, Ryan, has come through the academy. And it says here, today, Ryan Mason has departed the club to take on a new challenge at West Bromwich Albion. An assistant coach under Angepostecoglou, Ryan will now take up the head coach role at the Championship side as they push to return to the Premier League. An academy graduate who went on to wear their shirt 70 occasions and picked up an England cap before joining Hull City in 2016. Mace returned to N17 2 years later following the end of his playing days to begin his coaching career. On 2 occasions, he stepped up to become our interim head coach. Let me move that down. Before joining Hull in doing so in 2021 and 2023, before he was appointed assistant coach following the arrival of Ange later in the summer 2023. Now, after being part of the coaching staff, which helped us to Europa League glory last month, one of our own, Ryan, will now continue his coaching journey at the Hawthorns. We'd like to thank him and wish him all the best. As he moves to pastures new, here's a look back at his standout moments, and there's just some bits about his debut, his first goal, his first England cap, all of that kind of stuff as well. So what I would say is congratulations to Ryan Mason. Good luck. I really hope it goes well there. Hopefully he can take some of our youngsters and get them some experience and some game time. But good luck to Ryan Mason. And good luck to any of the coaching staff and the directors from Spurs that do move on this year. Let's have a look. Let's see what we missed in the chat. Boop, 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 boop. Phil Coys saying more nonsense. There you go. Never mind. Beyonce is at the stadium for a 6-night residency. Yay. Look, I think I speak for everyone when I say that we're just constantly waiting for some news to drop, right? We're hearing rumor after rumor. Breaking news 2 minutes ago from Fabrizio Romano is that Jadon Sancho leaves Chelsea as there's no agreement on personal terms. Chelsea will pay the $5 million penalty clause and Jadon returns to Man United. Story over between Sancho and Chelsea, now ready for new move in the summer window. Now, where will Jadon Sancho end up? And obviously Chelsea paying a $5 million penalty clause for not taking the obligation over the line. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Sills Diamond has said, question. So if Tell is so good, why are Bayern so desperate to get rid? Apparently dropping 20 million off the asking price. Absolutely. 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 I can't agree with you more, Sills Diamond. What's the purple elephant on the sleeve? Oh, Tottenham. Tottenham. That's the logo for Kraken, who are the sleeve sponsors. Remember, you used to just have shirt sponsors. Now you've got shirt sponsors, sleeve sponsors. I'll be surprised if they haven't got pants sponsors. I saw something about this yesterday. I didn't actually read into it. What's this all about? Why are Crystal Palace going to get kicked out of the Europa League? Let's have a look. Daniel. So Matisse Tell is the news today. Edison possibly going to Al Hilal. Jadon Sancho leaving Chelsea, and that's from Romano and from Ornstein. They've both said that. The 5 million penalty. Where will he go? Where will Jadon Sancho go? Here's a question. Would you rather Jadon Sancho than Matisse Tell? I would. I'm not saying I want Sancho. So again, listen to the wording. But I would definitely take Jadon Sancho over Matisse Tell. Alfie said Sancho is leaving Chelsea. Romano tweeted. No agreement yet. Where will he go, mate? Kudos has said Ryan has learnt from Mourinho and Conte and Nuno and Ange. Not a bad start. Yeah, look, good luck to him. Good luck to him. I hope he does really well. Really do. Really do. I like the crest in the middle. Reminds me of the 80s kits. Yeah, I don't mind the crest in the middle. I'll show you a little photo. Shall I show you a little photo? This is me. I did some filming the other day. I'm not allowed to release the footage, but I did a bit of filming the other day. And I took 36 pictures of me behind a green screen doing some different stuff in a retro Spurs kit. Look at that stupid photo. In a retro Spurs 1981 Cup final top that was. 1981 Cup final. So that footage will be out at some point. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Alpha Kenny Buddy. I don't know, mate. Lots of news. Ash has said, can you buy me a kit, Savva, with Tell on the back? And I will vow to sub forever. Big up to you, my man. And thank you for the 4 people who have just subscribed. Hang on, James Flowers messaged me 1 second. StreamYard. Let's get the link. Are we live? There we go. Live. Boom. Invite guests. Copy. By the way, tonight I'm going to be live at 7:30 on the Danlist show. And then on my own channel at about 9:30, 10 p.m. After that, we're going to be going live. I'm going to be live a lot this summer. And at 2 p.m. on fhtv Plus, I'm going to be doing a transfer show every day for all of the Premier League, not Spurs, all of the Premier League, all of European. And they will offload Rashford and Sancho. They will. Mate, Man United, watch them this summer. They're going to get rid of Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, Lindelof. They're going to get rid of Højlund. They're going to get rid of a lot of players, and they've already started bringing in good players in return. Mbeumo, Cunha. If they get that, the other way around, Cunha, and then if they get the Mbeumo deal done. Savva, Mason could take youngsters like Tell. Well, listen, I don't think Tell would go to the Championship, but yeah, I think he should be definitely taking maybe a Jamie Donnelly. Who knows? Did I see my man Ben K inside the chat? He never writes anymore. He never calls. Good morning, Ben. How you doing, man? Hope you're well. How's life? Hope everything is good with you, buddy. What else we got going on? Ben, no, we've done that one. We've done that one. Munich waiting for a sucker to take Tell, and Spurs will always help clubs. I just don't get it. Bayern Munich, I bet they replace Tell with Matoma. That would sum up Spurs, wouldn't it? Buying Tell so that they can get Matoma. Here he is, James Flower of Flowerville. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm just like every other Spurs fan. 5 million rumours about the club. about managers, owners, directors, transfers, directors of football. Just want it to start kicking in, James.
Well, to be honest, I've worked all weekend and I had a really late day yesterday. And you know, when you're like, the phone wasn't even an object. And I kind of got home last night about 9 o'clock and I just thought, what is going on? What? It's almost like I removed myself. First time I picked up my phone, I was like, what has gone on here? What is Donna Cullen's gone? Levy's meant to be going, new buyers coming in. All right, okay.
And then
Just
the best news of all, we've got a new kit. So you know what I mean? It's exciting.
More money to spend.
But yeah. It's, mate, honestly, do you ever get that where you know something's about to happen and you say, well, I'm not going to be annoyed at it. But then when it happens, you get annoyed at it anyway.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The Mbeumo to Man United thing yesterday was one of those moments where I thought, I don't think Mbeumo's the greatest player in the world I've ever seen, but I do think that is very much the level that Tottenham should be going tooth and nail for. And a club that aren't even in the Champions League that we beat 2 weeks ago to a final are going, we'll have him. It's just embarrassing, isn't it?
For me, there's certain people like, we'll pick Tell because Tell's the informed name at the moment. If there's people questioning him, that say for example, if it's 50-50 split, people question him, same as Ange. If there's 50-50 people questioning him, that means there's doubts in everybody's mind. So surely that means he ain't worth the money. For example, Danso. I haven't heard anybody question Danso. I haven't heard anybody go, he ain't worth that money. He's crap. He can't do a job. But Tell, I'd say 70%, 80% of people go, he ain't good enough. And then the other 20 are going, yeah, but he might become good. So there's no one saying that he's a good player, but yet they want us to spend our money on him. And where United have gone, they've gone out and said, right, Cunha, I wanted him last year before last season. I thought he was fantastic then. And Brom come out and had the season that he had. I think if you're going to do that, it's easier to sell that project. So Ruben Amorim, he ain't going anywhere. So already you've got that like stability.
Agreed.
So he's gone to Cunha and said, look, Cunha, you're coming in. Our next target is Mbeumo. We're going to look at maybe buying a striker as well. You want to be part of that. At least it gives him that option to say yes or no. For me, I think this is really easily solved for Spurs in Eze and Sane. But it's that ability to go out and go, look, you're our first target. Our second target is XYZ. Then we're going to buy number 6. We think the coach is going to be XYZ. You can kind of sell a project. We're in the Champions League, whereas it always feels like glass half empty with Tottenham, even if you're trying to be positive.
Yeah, I think the thing with it is, and a lot of people are looking at Man U right now, right? And a lot of people are just going, oh, they're shit, they're a mess. And I don't think there's any doubt they've been a mess for the last couple of years. New owners, manager change, blah, blah, blah. I've been very consistent what I've said about Ruben Amorim. I actually think that the difficulty is when you bring in, I'll tell you what, I've just realised why I'm so dark. The dog has turned off the light. There you go. Fucking my dogs can't talk, but they know how to use their thumbs that they don't have. You know, I said the problem is when you bring in a Ruben Amorim, he does have he has a set style. This is how he plays. This is what I need, right? And I've always said the problem is if you bring him in mid-season and you give him a squad that don't play his way, yeah, I get the Man United fans are annoyed. They've not flown up the table. I always said, give him this summer, see what he does. And already we're seeing within 2 weeks of the Europa League final, Cunha over the line and Brom. And this isn't...
And this is a club that have no money, bear in mind.
Right, apparently, Man U have got no money, right? I keep hearing, right? But these aren't... It's not like when they went and got Ibrahimovic, when they got Bastian, Schweinsteiger, Di Maria. These are solid Premier League players that are doing it week in, week out in the Premier League right now. For me, I'm jealous. Like people go, oh, don't be silly. So I'm really jealous that they are making that type of signing and I'm seeing us linked with Kyle Walker-Peters and Matisse Tell. Is that fair?
No. I think if you're happy with Tell, then you can't complain where the league position is. I think the guy scored 3 goals this season and one of them was a penalty, I believe.
Yeah, one
So
hit,
one of them was
one
one
just
of
hit
was
him.
a deflection, one was a penalty. So he scored one goal, and it was a bloody good finish. To be fair, the Villa goal was a bloody good finish. But are we saying that we want to spend 50, 30, 40 million on a guy that scored one goal and done nothing else? Like, I think that's I just think I think that's crazy, absolutely crazy. There's nothing that guy tells me. The only thing he could say is he's raw and he's 19. That's fine, but go let somebody else coach him and train him up, and then we'll be interested in 2 or 3 years. We can't keep taking on all these players expecting in 4 or 5 years we're going to be good, because you can't just jeopardize the next 4 or 5 years. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I just see that the names that other clubs are linked with and talking to, and then listen. I mean, even then, Leroy Sane like is being poo-pooed by our fans. And
Oh,
listen,
he's a
I'm not
baller.
right.
Yeah.
But we've got fans saying dusted, finished. Have you seen our wingers, James? And I obviously
No.
I've worked with you all year, and I hear you say that we've got a championship front three, and we've got fans going, "Nah, wouldn't want Leroy Sane on our right wing." What?
Yeah. You know,
Madness.
there's certain. I mean, I'm going to say what I would like, and I always like my wingers to get me off of my seat, whether the end product's good enough or not. I like that moment of, oh, here we go. And to be honest, the only one out of any of our wingers that may be able to do that is probably Odegaard, and I haven't seen nothing from him either, to be fair. But he's probably the only one that I kind of think, oh, you've got a bit there. Like, I've seen you beat your man 2 or 3 times, whereas none of the others can do anything. So when you got people downplaying Sane, I mean, I'm sorry, but Sane or Brennan Johnson, are you actually winding me up? Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to. You can't be picking Brennan Johnson over Sane. No matter how much you like Brennan Johnson, you can't pick him over Sane.
No, no way. No way. And by the way, Kudus, when you're saying it's embarrassing that Mbeumo would rather go to Man U than Tottenham, break it down, right? I keep saying this to people. Football fans think it's Football Manager, right? Man U are still a big club. It doesn't matter how much we knock them. Man U's pull across the world is massive. Yeah. Lots of these kids that are growing up in different countries dream of playing for clubs like Man U. You go to any country in the world. I bet when you were on holiday in Greece the other week, there's Man U shirts everywhere. There's Man U
Everywhere.
shirts in Spain, Italy, right? You've got to remember that for a moment in time, we are above Man United. For a moment in time, right? These players will be looking at clubs and saying, who's the manager? What are the owners doing? Who else are they buying? What's the plan?
But
And they would have
yeah,
seen that Tottenham we
it's
don't kick
structure,
on.
isn't it? You
Yeah.
don't buy into something if you don't know the structure. You don't buy a house with a lovely front door but no inside. There's no ceiling. You don't do that. You go to something with structure. Whether United are good or bad at the moment, at least they can say, look, right, we know this needs work. We know this needs work, but our manager's here to stay. We're going to progress. This is the plan X, Y, Z. We don't know. Like we just said, Donna Cullen left. Is Levy going? Are we getting bought? Is Angie in, Angie out? Is he staying? Is Tell there? Is Tell back? Like half of our coaches are leaving now because Mason's on about taking 2 of the coaches with him. You know, and you're like, it doesn't make sense. You can't buy into. I think it's so hard,
Man.
and I wouldn't either. I wouldn't join a club where they're saying to me, you ask a question, they go, well, we're going to see how it goes, or we've got this to work on, or we don't know that answer to this. It's just nut. It's I don't even know what to say. Tottenham are so whirlwind at the minute. It's like, pick your man, stick
But
with it.
James, we got fans that look, it's like, again, people are, listen, the fact that the guy is 19, notorious PIG, and has spent 6 months in the top league in the world, right? The fact that he didn't do anything tells you that we need better. It's
But
not
then
that, hang on,
ask
James,
him.
it's not that Tell can't be good in a few years, but do you want to get better as a club? Or we've got Odegaard, who's a young winger. You've got Yang, who's a young winger. Moore, who's a young winger. Donnelly's a young player coming back, right? Why do you just constantly want to sign 19-year-olds? What is
Well,
the obsession, James?
if we knock that price down, say we're going to get him for 30 million. Just say we're going to get him for 30 million. 30 million or 20 million in Leroy Sané's signing on fee? Like, are they genuinely saying they would rather Tell over Leroy Sané? Because if they are, then, mate, what are we doing here?
Absolutely. But these fans, the problem is, and I've got no problem with people like Notorious PIG, but the problem is with too many of these fans, they're so busy, James, trying to be super fans and sticking up for everything the club does that they're actually forgetting about being ambitious, right? So again, I can say this, Matisse Tell, in 2-3 years' time, we don't know. He could be brilliant. Right now, I don't need another player that could be. We need a player that is. We need an Mbeumo, a Cunha, a Leroy Sané, an Eze. We need ready-made players that come in and we don't all go, oh, but he is young. No. If you sign a young player for your first team, age goes out the window. You've signed them and said they're good enough for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. That's got to be fair, James, isn't it? If you put them in, then they've got to be ready.
Absolutely. You know what? I agree with. Listen, I would take Tell if you signed Eze and Sane. Then I'll take Tell. That's the situation I want to be in. You go, right, Eze, you're going to be our you're going to be our left winger. We're going to sign Tell as a backup so he can work off of you, learn bits and pieces, show him the ropes. And on the right side, you go, right, Sane, you're going to teach Odegaard. I'm happy with that. But how many times are we going to go, well, let's invest in the future and see what happens? I'm sick and tired of rolling the dice and it not working. You wouldn't see Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Why are Arsenal going to get Sesko or Grokeres? Why don't they buy Tell and hope that he might come good?
Exactly.
It's
exactly. Exactly. It's again, big up to my man Gary. Said potential means wait and see what happens. This club cannot afford to wait for anyone to prove themselves. Gary, absolutely. And then again, my man Notorious PIG, you want the combination of both. I hate to break it to you. We've already got the youth bit. We've already got the young bit. We've got Odegaard is a young winger. Yang, Moore, right? They're young wingers, right? We've got the young players. We've got Jamie Donnelly coming back. He's young. Archie Gray is 19. Bergval's 19. Adogi's still about 2021. Sars 21, 22. Dorrington, Ashley Phillips, Keeley, Gunter, Dane Scott. How many do you want? Vuskovic. What you want, Notorious PIG, is both, but you're asking for more of the youth and less of the experience. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
What I would say is surely you need someone for those young players to learn off of and actually progress with. Like for me, Archie Gray is coming to a system. Who's he learning? Who's he learning off of? Who's Tell going to learn off? Son, all right, yeah, maybe he could be a good teacher, but I think he's past it in the big games. On the right, Odegaard's learning off Brennan Johnson, who can't beat his man. Like, if we signed a young striker, who are they learning off? Richarlison and Solanke? At what point do you start putting your football team first rather than the future of the football team?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, look, last summer, what gets me about this is last summer we went out and we bought, we knew Yang was coming in. I think we'd already signed him in the January, right? And we knew he was coming in from, mate, the club probably knew, yeah, the fan base went mad. And I started seeing videos about why this guy's the greatest footballer to ever come out of Asia and the greatest young player in the world. The club probably knew he was going to go on loan. But then they went and bought another one in Odegaard for what, 30, 25 million, whatever it is. So, okay, can't we develop Odegaard before we worry about getting another teenage winger and developing that one as well? Because who are they learning from, like you said, James?
So with that Notorious PIG, I don't want to sign any strikers either now because we got what's his guy coming back? Relais coming back on loan. I don't want to sign any strikers because we've got a young guy. It makes no sense. Makes no sense.
It's crazy. As I said, what I think it is these fans seem so desperate to want to be seen as super fans, and they think that when people like me critique and want better, I'm just being negative. Nah, get me a coach that says, you know what? I like the look of Sarr. I like the look of Gray, Bergval, Donnelly. Cool. I've got that over here. Now go and get me 3 or 4 that can coach them with me. Now get me 3 or 4 that I can turn around to Odeber and go, Odeber, watch what Leroy does in Sane. Watch what Leroy does in training. Watch how Leroy takes his man on. Watch how Leroy positions. That's what you've got. And at the moment, you've got Archie Gray, who's a DM when Spurs don't have a DM at the club for him to learn off. You've got Bergvall, who's the box-to-box midfielder. Who's he learning off? You've got Jamie Donnelly coming back. Who are they learning off? You know,
would you be against Tell coming in if it meant we was going to sign like an Eze for the left and then Tell was backup, or someone for the Sane for the right and then Odegaard as backup? I don't think anybody then. I think it takes away the whole argument and debate to criticise, because you've got one you've brought in who's very, very good in my opinion in Eze, and you've got one that's going to learn off of him, a 19-year-old in Tell. So for me, that's the right thing to do. You're just prioritising the latter before the mainstay.
I think the question you have to ask yourself is this, James. Listen, Spurs are never a team that just I cannot speak today. That, you know, we're not a team that just spend frugally, right? We don't, you know, we don't just go out there and, you know. So I'm asking this question. If you went and got an Eze who was going to play off our left and he's 60, 65 million, do I then want a further 35 million going on Tell, who's going to be an understudy, right? Taking that to 100 million of our transfers gone on left-sided players when I've already got Yang, Moore, Odegaard that can all play there. That's the question I'm going to ask myself. If you turn around and said, we're going to take Tell on loan for a year, fine, whatever. But only if you're getting an Eze in front of him. Not buying him as the main man. I'm not buying this as the main man.
I'm the same.
My Chelsea mate said this to me yesterday, right? Not a YouTuber, by the way. My Chelsea mate said, love Liam Delap. Said, got to get another one. He said, Liam Delap, who's he learning off? He said, we've got to go and get a Garcarez or something. Like, we've got to...
Tell your mate he's negative.
Yeah. Mate, the word negative and misery that Stell's now throwing around for fun, I don't get it. I don't get why wanting better is seen as such a bad thing. I want Spurs to compete. I want Spurs. Just quickly, James, I want to line up on the first day of the season, whoever we play. Let's just say, I don't know the fixtures. Let's say we're playing Newcastle at White Hart Lane. I want Newcastle to look at a Spurs forward line of Eze, Jonathan David and Sane and go, this is going to cause us problems. Like, I want them to look and go, shit, look at the pace, look at the skill, look at the goal.
Yeah.
I don't want them to look and go, Johnson, Tell, Solanke. I don't think that's frightening in any way, shape or form. Why is that negative of me to want that?
No, but I think a lot of people, and listen, I've gave Levy credit this year, barring sacking Ange. I think he should have sacked Ange. Maybe I was wrong there. So that is what it is. But I've gave Levy credit where it was due, because if you're going to praise Ange for winning that competition, you cannot not praise Levy for providing with that squad to win that competition. So for me, all these people saying you're negative, need to give Ange a try, okay, but then by your standard, you need to be backing Levy as well now. You can't pick and choose. And that, for me, is the biggest problem. Everyone's got this opinion of Levy's bad regardless of what he does. Ange is good because he's won the cup regardless of what he does. But even they're saying, well, I'd give him the first 10 games. Well, that means you're not confident in him, for starters, because I'll give him the first 10 games. That might go wrong. Well, no, you back him or you don't. You sack him or you keep him. There's no 10 games here, 10 games there, and write the season off.
Yeah. And by the way, for all the people in the chat saying, would I be happy to take Tell for 10 million or loan? I'll be brutally honest. I just don't see it. Like, when people, I'll be honest, it's all well and good saying on loan. My worry is, James, if our entire scouting team have gone across Europe and that's the best they can find to bring in on loan or bring in as a 35 million winger, this worries me greatly. I watch, James, honestly, if you ever speak to my wife, right? I don't know if you're coming to the FHTV barbecue, but if you ever speak to my wife, you ask her how much football is on my TV at all times. Bundesliga, Serie A, in the Dutch league, the French league, Spanish league, Premier League, right? I watch games every week and go, what a player. God, he's good. And yet Spurs get tell and we get fans going, oh, he'd be good. It's like, watch football. Go and watch the other leagues, man. There's players everywhere. So
watch the Premier League. Oh, mate, just watch the teams just above us. The likes of Mainu or the likes of West Ham, Bowen, Kudos. There's loads about. Like, just watch the Premier League. They ain't even got to leave England. Like, watch the English league.
It's mad, isn't it? It's utterly, utterly mad. Like, as I said, it seems like we just bought a load of wingers, right? And it seems like we've bought a load of wingers. For me, still haven't got 2 good ones. And now we just want to buy more good ones and more backups. We've got shit to do in this team. We need some midfielders. For me, I'm going to say it. Let's have the conversation, James. We need a centre forward. I do not think in any way, I'll ask you this direct question. Is Dominic Solanke the guy you want to go into a Champions League competition with?
No, but I will caveat that I think Dominic Solanke would be a good box in the box kind of striker, whereas I think Ange has him playing in his own half. So not that I think he's going to tear the walls down or anything like that, but I do believe that there is a player that could get you 15, 20 goals a season by being a fox in the box. But for that to happen, your wingers need to be wingers, need to be delivering balls into the box. You need a striker staying in his box. You need to be able to give Maddison the space behind him to find him in the box. And under Ange, I think there's a lot of players that can't play in this team. Even the likes of Son, he's finished in this Ange system. He can't play this system. Brennan Johnson, he gets tap-ins, but we're 10 men down. So if Ange stays, then Solanke needs to go. If Ange goes, then I'd give Solanke 1 more year to prove a point.
Yeah. Look, I mean, we'll come back to that in a second. I mean, Daz, this is just not how life works. Young players shouldn't need someone to learn off. I mean, what are we doing here? This is absolutely crazy. That is absolutely crazy to say. Of course, the coaches are going to develop them, but you have to learn. You have to watch players in training. You have to. You have
to live it. Any job role that you do, passing your car driving test. You don't learn how to drive there. You can learn to drive after that. Any job you do, once you get that ticket or certification, that don't mean that you know what you're doing. You need to learn week in, week out playing football, which is why I've said what I've said about Mikey Moore. I haven't seen anything to say that he's a top player. But go out on loan to the Championship or League One and prove it to me. Do what you've got to do. You're 17. Get him on the ball. You ain't gaining anything from sitting on the bench or playing with the under 21s or 23s. He's got to be playing week in, week out at men's football, the level he should be.
Oh, it's absolutely crazy. By the way, just Fabrizio Romano in the last few minutes has said that Jadon Sancho is not expected to stay at Man United. He's included in the list of players available for sale to generate funds. And then 15, he's just reposted. You know when Romano reposts something he said before, i.e. it means it's happening. He said, understand that Inter Milan have made contact with Rasmus Højlund's camp, as Højlund is one of the main options for Inter Milan. So Man U, again, it looks like bought Sancho, going to move him on quickly. Bought Højlund, going to move him on quickly. I rate that. I do. I think we need to do that a lot more with players. Been here 2 years. It's not worked. Not good enough. Thank you very much. See you later. Let's get some money for you and not let your contract.
When was the last time we did that? When was the last time we sold a player for decent money? Not even big money. When was the last £30 million player we sold? I actually don't know. Harry Kane? Barring that, who have we sold for 30 million plus?
We don't tend to, do we? We really don't. I mean,
we have fans that just go, and I'll pick Son up. For me, Son's a good player now. Way past it. If somebody offered me 40, 50 million, which I believe we could potentially get due to his advertisement and the commercial side of things, I would be selling him within a heartbeat. But our fans are like, but he was a legend. He's won at this. He's our captain. I don't hold that, unfortunately. There's no sympathy for me in football. It's about winning and progressing and moving forward. So I wouldn't even care if Romero went. If they said, you know what, Son's gone, Romero's gone, Basuma's gone, Richarlison's gone, and then gone, right, whoever the next manager, if it's Ange, there's another 150 million we've made there. Who do you want?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Saul's Diamond. Listen, I'll be honest, I want a little bit better than Højbjerg, if I'm honest. What I was really disappointed was that last year we let Højbjerg go out on loan and replaced him with Archie Gray essentially in that midfield area. That was very, very baffling to me. But hey, it is what it is. By the way, kudos, you won't get an answer. You won't get an answer from Phil about Tell. James Flower will tell you, I've been trying for about 6 months to get an answer from Phil as to anything Tell does good. And I can't get an answer other than I see something in him, but I can't get an answer what that something is. James said it. He don't score goals. He's got 1 assist in 20 appearances. He don't assist. He doesn't score. He can't beat a man, right? His control is atrocious. His dribbling output is poor, but we've got fans that want to win the Europa League and get in Champions League only to want to sign players like Tell.
You know what I think it is?
Surprises me.
I think it's actually his personality and his hunger and fight, because he does go out and face the fans. He does come out and speak. And I think that's what people like rather than the actual footballing ability, because everybody else is just shied away because we finished 17th this season. So for me, they're probably hanging on to the only thing that he has done, which is kind of come out and confront people rather than what he does on the pitch. For me, I'd rather see stuff on the pitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Jay, listen, yeah, clubs will take hits. They will. But again, if we're going to look at Spurs, when was the last? Let me ask you guys in the chat. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. Can you name 5 players we've bought for good money and sold for more? Or not sold at a loss? There you go. Not sold at a loss. Davinson Sanchez was 42 million. How much we sell him for?
Was it 20? No? Was it 20 odd?
I don't know. I'm guessing it wasn't 42 million, right?
Definitely not.
You have a look. Who else?
Eric didn't we sell Lo Celso for free? Didn't he go? We were meant to get
free. Ndombele, we ended up having to pay him off his last 5 million of wages to get him. So when we're talking about huge losses, most clubs will, but some clubs make money. Chelsea are brilliant at it. Man City are very good at it. We are not. Other than Harry Kane, Winks and Skip, who we made money on, obviously, because they were from our academy, there's a good question. Who have we made a profit on? Let's let the chat think of that one over. Go on, chat. Players in the last decade that we've made a profit on. There you go. It's a good question, that, if I don't say so myself.
For a parrot.
Just to clarify, he hasn't. Phil, there you go. In front of everyone now. 1, 2, 3. I just want reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, why you want him. Go. I bet you the next question, the next comment doesn't say 1, 2, 3 with answers. Tell me. 1, 2, 3. Not that he's young, not potential. What does he do as a footballer that makes you want him? Bet I don't get an answer. Never do. Let me know. Last decade. So what are we? 2025. Since 2015, who have we made a profit on? In 10 years. I don't know if you all know how old Bale and Modric. These were a long time ago, people. The last decade, who have we made a profit on? Last decade. Yeah, it is funny, isn't it? When you look at it, when you look at what's going on at Tottenham at the moment. I just feel like we're all at each other's throats, and we're always at each other's throats. But what we do need, James, I think you'll agree, we need that one signing that brings us all together. Not a Tell, not a Carl Walker-Peters. I think we all need that Eze type signing where we all go, praise the Lord. Everyone's going to release videos and everyone's going to go, yes. Yes.
But like we were saying earlier, Eze, Sane, and David is that's 60 million signing. Say Eze 60 million, 65 million. The others are 2 with signing on fees because they're free agents. So you said 100 million to be rounded out. You've got a whole new front line for 100 million where I go, I'm looking forward to this season now. You know what I mean? And not just me, even the kids. Like, my son yesterday, he was like, "Oh, someone said that we're going to get Sane, and he played for Man City," and was having a bit of a conversation. He was like, "Yeah," and like it sparks the sort of spark in his generation where he would go, "Oh, I want Sane on my top this year." At the moment, we went last year to the Ipswich game. I said, "Who do you want on his shirt?" He said, "No one." Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even just for the next generation, if you've got an Eze, a Madison, a Sane, mate, I'm actually there. Like, you know what, boys, I'm all on this train now. We get those two in. I am fully on the Tottenham Hotspur train. So it ain't like we're asking him for Mbappe's and stuff. It's actually doable and affordable now. Just do it.
Yeah, no. Look,
Even
just quickly, Fabrizio Romano's reporting that AC Milan, the new director, Igliter, is looking to take Luka Modric to AC Milan. He's also said that the main issue for Jadon Sancho was salary. Chelsea didn't want to match his current Man United salary. And Rangers are closing in on the appointment of Russell Martin. So the ex-Southampton manager looks like he's going to be going to Rangers. So that's all happening. Big up to Paul Summerfield. He's been a channel member for 1 month. Big up to you, Paul. Said, right, Bayern don't sell duds. Bayern have bought in that. Bayern have got Nabry. Bayern have got Musiala. Bayern have gone and bought Elise. Bayern are looking at buying Matoma. They're very happy to let go. Right? I don't get it. I don't get it. Big up to you. And yes, the Two Marks Show. If you haven't subscribed to these guys, please do. The elder statesman of the Spurs YouTube community. They have got a series of videos coming out of people's lifetime 11s. They've interviewed. They've done videos with myself and about 20 other content creators who have given them their best ever 11 they've seen for Spurs. And I believe that mine is the first one at 5 p.m. tonight. I'm sure there'll be a few in there that you guys will absolutely hate, but it is what it is. So please get over to these guys, subscribe. They've got one a day for the next 30 days or something. Spurs Kings TV, I'm guessing I'm going to go with Marlon. It could be Ash. Who knows? So Kieran Trippier and Kevin Wimmer, quite possibly. Kevin Wimmer, yeah, I think we made a little profit on him. Kieran Trippier, I think we probably made a profit on him. But isn't it bad that we're all scratching around trying to find players that we've sold for a profit? We're so bad at it, James. We really are. But listen, you're spot on bringing this full circle. You're spot on. No, Kane was from the youth team. Bale was more than 10 years ago. Luka Modric was more than 10 years ago. Berbatov was more than 10 years ago. Robbie Keane was more than 10 years ago. Listen to the question, Matty K. Listen to the question. Go back. I told you, I cannot get an answer. I cannot get an answer from this man. He will not answer. Everyone in YouTube, you're seeing now that we cannot get an answer. We really, really can't get an answer. All it is, just give me 3 bullet points why you like him. You can't give anybody. Go back in the WhatsApp chat. Mate, I've gone back. You don't answer a single thing. To your point, we do. We need that one player, preferably 2 or 3, but we need that one that gets us all on side. We need that one that on day 1 of next season at White Hart Lane, the Eze shirts are selling out of the club shop. The Leroy Sané shirts, something. We deserve that, don't we, as a fan base, James? We deserve that.
And it's never been, I mean, look, I know it's not Football Manager, but I don't think it's ever been so easy. Sane and Paulinho from Bayern, I think if you're talking the Harry Kane money, they're the 2 that I'd get. Davids is a free. Eze, but even then, I'd keep Solanke. If we got Eze, Sane and Paulinho, I don't think that's enough, but I am very, very happy with that going into the next season. A DM, 2 new wingers. I'm very, very happy with that. But this is my biggest problem with Daniel Levy is I feel like we get to a point and then he stops back in the team and then he sees what happens. So for me, this is the moment there's the saying, you strike while the iron's hot. Now is the moment you go, you know what, let's go for it. And Man United, to be honest, it's probably not the time that they do it, and they're doing it anyway. Even all of this problems that they've had, they still went out and bought Sancho. They still went out and bought Anthony. But they've still got players there that are now worth money to sell on. We just don't do that. We never take that risk.
Agreed. Look, I completely agree. And the worrying thing for me is I I understand. I understand that we might not be able to compete with certain clubs on players. You know, I've always said that. I get it. But there are players out there where you think, well, they're much better than what we've got. They're much better than what we've got. They're obtainable. You know, I look at like, why can't we go to a Brighton? Why can't we go to Brighton and say, Matoma, we're in the Champions League. We need a left winger to replace Son. We really like the cut of your. We've seen him rip us apart twice this season. We've seen him rip us apart. Why can't we go 60 million, boom, done? Why can't we do that?
And even if you go further down the tape, you go Fulham, Robertson at left back. Why can't we get him? Why are we being linked with Kyle Walker-Peters when you can get Robertson on loan? There's so many. All it is a bit of good scouting or somebody that actually watches football to know that there's players out there to sign. You haven't got to go with the first option, or that it just feels like everything's easy with Tottenham. Even this whole Daniel Levy selling up, it's easy, isn't it? If I'm a newspaper or a journalist and I want to get, they go to me, your views are a bit crap this month. What are you going to do? I'm going to go, yeah, Daniel Levy's leaving. They're selling the club. Regardless if it's true or not, you know, it's just easy. Everything about Tottenham is easy. You buy young and hope it comes good, easy. Don't take any punts on big players because it's easy. I'm just, I don't know. For once, I want to be the team that actually gave it a go. When we got to that Champions League final, after that, I thought, now's the time to actually give it a go. Buy a couple of showstoppers. Let's see where we go. And we didn't. And it almost feels like the same again.
I honestly think as well that if you're not going to buy those players, then that's why when people have a go at me about the choice of manager I want, get a coach. If you know what I mean? If you're not going to give a manager top players to work with, yeah, and you are going to give them the second-rate players or the younger players, you've got to get a coach. You've got to get a coach. You can't give a manager. And again, I know there's a lot of people who don't seem to understand the difference between the two. You can't give a manager second-grade players and say, go. That's where you've got to get a coach that can get that extra 10, 15, 20% out of them. So listen, and when people are going, oh, because of Levy, I get it. I've never doubted that. My problem with Levy has always been that he's never kicked on, right? What I never blame Levy for is FA Cup and semi-finals. You know what I've said, James. Once we get to those semis and those finals and those Champions League and Europa League runs, I can't blame a chairman that's given a manager a squad good enough to get there. What I blame him for is kicking on.
Absolutely. Well, I think it was Lubo and Matty Kay that I was arguing with because they said Heung-min Son deserves a trophy. And I said, I'm sorry, mate. No one deserves a trophy. He's been in more than enough finals to win something. You only deserve it if you work hard for it. And I said the only player that I could remember from my knowledge that deserved something and didn't get it was probably Gareth Bale. He was the only one that turned up week in, week out all of the time. And sometimes it was a bit too much for him to beat the whole 11 men on his own, but he gave it a bloody good go. So for me, when people say Son deserves it, when was the last semi-final he turned up to? When was the last fight? This final in that Europa League, he did nothing. Let's get it right. No. So when people say deserved it,
James, it's sentiment over common sense with a lot of things, right? Listen, Sonny's been a great player for this club. By the way, I put this on Harry Kane. You know I do. You've got to, in the big moments, you've got to show why people put you there. And I say this to all football fans. When they go, oh, you don't rate anyone, you think they're all shit. No. If you guys, let's just say this, I know you can have whatever levels. If the levels of footballer, James, are world-class, top player, very good, average, poor, right? If you want to put them in the top of that bracket and tell me they're world-class, don't then get annoyed with me when I judge them against that very label, right? So all of these games I've watched for England and Tottenham with Harry Kane in finals and semi-finals, I'm waiting for him to do that one thing that makes me go, that's why you're world-class. People get annoyed at me saying that. That's why you're world-class. You look at the different level, but you look at the Messis. When they get to those big games, look at
Yamal. Look at Yamal. I thought he's the winger for PSG, the young lads. Doué. That is world class. Because
Yeah.
when, at that moment, when they said, right, who's going to make a difference here? They've gone, me.
Love that. We do our scouting by CFAX. Ask your dad. Yeah, well, listen, yeah, do you know what? I remember that is how I found out Spurs signed Jurgen Klinsmann in 1994. Was through teletext. Just
I
flicking through.
remember Teletext.
You had to flick through and wait for the next page. And it just came up, Spurs signed Klinsmann. So I turned on BBC News and there was a little video of Alan Sugar's little yacht. And I say little yacht, his yacht. Little yacht, Alan Sugar. And there was him and Jurgen Klinsmann on the yacht in the middle of, I think they were in Monaco. Yeah, God, those were the days. No, not surprised. But I think equally, as I've said, not surprised, but then surprised at some of the manager names that people come up with. So if you are somebody that understands how Levy operates, take that into account when wanting a manager because you need a coach. You look at the managers that have done really well here in over a number of years and built and grown the team. You look at Redknapp, you look at Poch, you look at Yol. These people were very good coaches.
I think that's such an unfair comment as well, because before Ange come in, I would kind of agree. Let's not kid ourselves. Van der Ven, 45 million. Maddison, 45 million. Tell, 60 million. Solanke, 60 million. Johnson, 50 million. I mean, come on. Like, I'm all for bashing someone. I'm happy to do that if they need it. But you can't keep bashing someone and then go, well, look at X, Y, Z. We got fans saying that Archie Gray, another 45 million. Like it doesn't make sense to me. You can't just say, well, look at Levy. Yeah, fair enough. Well, I've just listed you off about 500 million worth of players in the last 2-3 years. What more do you want?
Do you know what? It's funny. By the way, Florian Plettenberg is really pushing this Rasmus Højlund to Inter Milan thing. Just so you all know. So there is so much going on. James, let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about that. Because the same people that bash Daniel Levy for the signings he makes are the same people that when I bash those players, tell me those players are good, you're harsh on them. So when I bash Solanke, what do you mean? What do you mean? I think Solanke, blah, 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 blah. Oh, look how dumb you look now, not rating Brennan Johnson. Okay, cool. Well, straight away there, it's 110 million a footballer that I've bashed that you rate, but you don't like Levy for buying them. Cool. Let's go further than that then, shall we? You guys want him to, not you, all of you, want him to sign Matisse Tell for 35, 40 million. Cool. So when we sign Matisse Tell for 35, 40 million and our forward line isn't great, you're then going to go, Daniel Levy doesn't buy better players, but you wanted Matisse Tell. Now let's go to Richarlison. There are people that don't rate him. There are people that do. That's another 55, 60 million, right? Well, if I say Kulusevski, I think we could do better. Oh, what do you mean? Kulu's great. That was another 45 odd million, right? James Maddison, I really like. Oh, what a waste of money. It's got to be consistent. If you want to bash Levy for everything, right, then you've got to praise him for the players that you do like as well. But he only seems to take the stick for the players that don't work out, James. So Mickey van der Ven, I don't see anyone going, oh, I can't believe that Daniel Levy bought Mickey van der Ven. That's an Ange signing, not a Levy signing, right? It's mad, isn't it?
Like it is absolutely stupid. People that think like that is stupid because, it doesn't make sense. It really, really doesn't make sense. They want to bash Levy for spending the amount he spends. They should be spending more. What more do you want from your chair? I mean, if we go in black and white, what we're seeing, we've been told that. What's the Italian guy that's just come back into Tottenham? He was suspended or something because he had a court case. What's his name?
Sorry, at Tottenham?
Yeah, the chairman, not chairman. Oh, what's his name?
Paratici.
Paratici.
Yeah.
People were saying to me how good Paratici is. Look who he brought in. You're not forgetting all the flops he brought in, like Sarr, Solomon. There's a lot more. People go, oh yeah, but he's the Messiah. Look what he's done. Okay, for me, I don't think he is. One of the best guys you could argue with last season is Bergvall. You could argue. Who signed Bergvall? It was Lang. So you can't criticise one without the good. You can't negative one without the other. It's mental. It's like people get fixated on one thing, no matter what that guy does or don't do. They can't be the bigger person and go, you know what, you did well there. Levy, for me, for the last 2 years, you did what you could have done. I would have liked a bit more in January, but other than that, you've done an all right job. Where, for me, I think people like that need to kind of say, oh, okay, I see what he's done there. I give him credit for that, even though I'm not happy with X, Y, or Z. They don't. They're just like, no, Ange is the problem because blah, blah, blah. Levy is the problem because blah, blah, blah. There's no, I don't like that, but I like that. Or he's done that all right. It's always nice, all his fault. But all the good is someone else's fault.
Here we go. Here's some breaking news for you, James. And again, look at the difference between a club like Chelsea and a club like Spurs. So Chelsea approach AC Milan to sign Mike Maignan as new goalkeeper. Maignan has still not signed the new contract at the club, and Chelsea are now aware of his situation. He's always been high on the list. I'll tell you what, that's a goalkeeper. Mike Maignan, he is a quality goalkeeper. Chelsea, again, everyone's mocked them for years. These new owners, they'll get it right. Eventually, James, these new owners will get it right. They've just finished in the top 4. They've won a European competition. They're spending in the transfer window. They will get it right. This is why, you know, when people like in group chats and stuff and always, look at them, look at them. I think I go against the grain with that, James. And I always say, this is why I don't laugh at these clubs. This is why I don't laugh, because they always come back strong.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
This is my father-in-law, and we've just been having this sort of like conversation the last few days. My father-in-law is a Liverpool fan. And for the last 10 years, he's gone, I would never want to be Man City. £100 million on a player this, £100 million on a player. And I said, look, mate, I would have loved to be Man City. Sign me up. And now they've been projected 130 million for Wirtz. He's going, oh, yeah, but he's a top player. I'm like, this is why you shouldn't talk, mate. Like, be honest with yourself. Knocking people and players for things that they do and not praising is stupid. It is stupid for me.
Yeah, look, and this is the thing. But what we'll do is, right, we'll watch Chelsea sign Mike Maignan. And what we'll do is we'll start convincing ourselves that Paratici is the better goalkeeper. Paratici, Vicario is the better goal. What we do, I saw people in my chat doing it yesterday with Mbeumo when it was, oh, Man, you were winning the race to sign Mbeumo. Oh, yeah, but Mbeumo. But you're like, hang on. If these footballers signed for Tottenham, we'd be all over it. I expect after all the Tell hate, he's now probably getting the race hate. Well, that's just dumb. If anyone's going into his chats and abusing racially, then they're idiots, aren't they? So don't worry about those people.
Even besides race, if anybody's stupid enough, even in these chats, anyone's stupid enough to criticize people that are trying to do a living or try to do something good, you're fucking just as bad. Like, there's no need for hate.
You're being called out, James.
I'm finding every excuse for leaving. Yeah, but Matt is the biggest flip flop ever. He's only ever seen us. It's mental. Do you know what I mean? Like. So what I just said isn't facts. Levy hasn't spent that money for Ange. Am I wrong? Levy didn't buy Van der Ven? No. Did he not buy Madison? Did he not sign Tell? Did he not sign Solanke? Did he like Romero? The goalkeeper, Vicario, I think is quality. Like, did he not do that?
Archie Gray.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Breaking news. Hang on, breaking news with Tottenham. I'm going.
Why am I? Please. This is not very nice. Oh, no.
Was that it? It was a statement from Pedro Porro.
Oh.
Breaking news on Sky Sports, and it was a statement from Pedro Porro saying, of course he wants Ange in. Shock horror. The players who have just had an awful season want the manager to stay and say nice things.
You know why I think? You know why I think they want Ange in is because he's made a permanent excuse for them. No matter what they do, there's an excuse, so they can have the bad game. Whereas you knew it. Well, we'll just pick Conte. You knew if you had a bad game under Conte or Mourinho. I mean, look at the documentary with Danny Rose. No, you was crap, mate. I gave you the opportunity because you trained well. You was crap. You got dropped, and just make an excuse for everybody.
Matty, we've talked about this before. Stop being silly. No, we couldn't get Doué because we went in for Doué and he went, nah, I'm going to PSG. Matt, please, Matty, I know you're only 16, but you've got to stop this. We couldn't have got Doué. We tried. See, I always hear we never try for players. When we tried for Kolo Muani, there was no credit. When we tried for Tomori, there was no credit. When we tried for Doué, there was no credit. People have to understand, Muani is going to turn down Spurs for Juventus. I would expect that. Doué is going to turn down Spurs for PSG. These are obvious ones, right, James? Where are you going, PSG or Spurs, if you're Desiree Doué, a young French winger who's got all the promise in the world?
But also, we tried. Well done. Well, well done. I'm happy for you. Well, we tried. We also tried with Velez. How's that getting on? We also tried with Sarr. How's that getting on? Like, you can't keep trying. You need to start doing. And this is,
yeah, but the problem is you're not gonna get a Doué over PSG, right? You're not, right? But what we've got to do is say, okay, we haven't got Doué. Where's the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the list? Not Matisse Tell, not Odebers. Where are the next ones in the list that are below Doué? That's my problem with Spurs.
You know my problem with fans as well, and it is Spurs fans. I mean, it's probably every club fans, but they tend to pick and choose part of the links or rumours. So, like, we could have got a Doué. Well, what about the part where Daniel Levy said he wanted to sign Eze and Ange said no? Are we forgetting about that? So you're picking the one narrative that's, oh no, Daniel Levy's bad. We could have signed Doué. Well, from what we're hearing, he wanted to sign Eze. So let's bash him with that because we didn't see, make your mind up. You either believe everything or you believe nothing, surely.
Right. No, stop, Matty. Matty, proper wages and proper money. That's what PSG did. He went to Paris Saint-Germain. James, sorry, am I going mad here? This is Paris Saint-Germain.
What about Cunha?
Sure. Go, but that's not the point I'm making. Desiree Doué was one
going
of the
to
most
Man United because he wants to. He could have gone anywhere, Cunha, for me. For me, Cunha could have gone Chelsea, City, but he chose United because he wanted to play there.
I get that. But like with the Desiree Doué thing, I do not understand how we still got fans that think we could have got Doué above Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, no, you can't.
This is, Matty, you've got to stop doing this. You've got to stop doing this. You're going after, listen, I credit Spurs for putting in the bid. I credit Spurs for speaking to his agent. I do.
Yeah.
I can't knock that. I also think if you had sat there honestly and gone, right, Doué's got these 3 or 4 clubs, who's he going to go to? You would say, well, Spurs are not the best option. You would. You've got to remember, Matty K, he's going to PSG to play for Luis Enrique, right? So straight away, managers, Luis Enrique or Ange? Luis Enrique. A team that wins the league every year or Spurs who don't? A team that wins the league every year that don't, right? The team that's going to go ridiculous with wages, boom, 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 right? The team that challenges and now has won the Champions League, boom, boom, boom. The team that he's going to be playing with, Kvaratskhelia, right? Ousmane Dembele, Marquinhos, Hakimi, Donnarumma. You've got to make it make sense, Matty. Please stop just saying if we put the money down. Danny's told you that, and now you believe it. Stop. Sorry, James. It just makes me laugh.
Don't get me wrong. It does play a big factor, but it doesn't play it the only factor. There's more to it. But again, this is another. Let's bash Daniel Levy for the sake of bashing Daniel Levy. There's no substance to the argument. It's pointless almost debating.
I completely agree. So, do people like Matty in the chat give Spurs credit then for putting in the bid for Doué, for speaking to his representatives? It wasn't that Doué wasn't interested in us. Someone bigger came along in the process. Someone bigger came along, and I hate to break it to people, that could happen with anyone. Could be.
Sorry.
So I was just going to say, we could be right at the point of Eze signing for Tottenham. And for all you know, Pep Guardiola or Man City come along in the 11th hour and go, Eze,
Yep.
your Turkey's fallen through. Come and join us. All of a sudden, his agent's going to go, whoa. Eze, whoa. City of... It changes everything. And unfortunately, some of our fans don't want to believe that we're not that club. We are.
Well, also, Matt would be the first one to bash Daniel Levy if he signed a 16, 17-year-old kid and slapped him on 80k a week or 90k a week. He'd be the first one to criticise him. If we bought a random 16-year-old now that no one's ever seen, that he had one good season for Rennes, like we have done with all of our wingers that flopped from the league. Say he had one good season, a 17-year-old from that league, we paid 30, 40 million for him and we slapped him on 150 grand wages. Every man and his dog would be going, that is so stupid from Daniel Levy. Why has he done that? He's a kid. He don't blah, blah, blah. So it's damned if he damned if he don't. It's stupid. It's just such a stupid comment.
Okay. So, but let's see, and now I'm about to tell people why the Levy out movement never works. I'm going to say it, James. I'm going to tell you why the Levy out movement never works. Because people like this have no balance. So Matty wants us to put the money on the table and try and get better players. When Spurs do that, you don't want to credit it. We tried. Kolo Muani, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this. Kolo Muani, who went to Juventus in January, do you know we offered 100% of his wages, right, to PSG, right? Juventus aren't paying any of his wages. And he chose Juventus, right? And yet, no credit for that. No credit for trying to get Tomori, who rejected us. I think he's a good centre-half. No credit for Doué. But then when we wasn't it
Dybala as well, that we agreed everything barring the naming rights? So he tried, not that making excuses, but listen, I want Levy out. So I'm not here saying, Levy's the saviour, because he ain't. He's far from it. But... I come from a background where if someone's done something wrong, you tell them. But if someone's also done something right, you also tell them. You can't just keep criticising and slagging off for the sake of it.
Matty, that's not what happened. Matty, Spurs had a concrete bid accepted by his club. Yeah? There were offers on the table. He chose Paris Saint-Germain. Stop this. When you're saying it's brainwashing, Matty, you're starting to sound really silly now. Stop listening to everything Stell tells you about Levy. This is not true. It's not brainwashing. It doesn't mean, because I understand how transfers work, that I don't want Levy gone. You can understand and still want Levy gone, Matty, but you've got to stop saying this. You want him to put in bids for players and then knock him for doing that. That's why people don't want to join the Levy out movement, mate.
I've never seen him come on to any show and actually have a good debate. It's always in like the comment sections. I've never seen him go on and actually have a proper debate about it and actually have a back and forth why he's good and why he's bad.
Yeah, agreed.
He's stupid. He's flip-flopped and said Ange in.
I get it.
But yet he won't give any credit to the owner for providing Ange with that squad. It makes no sense.
What he doesn't get, right, is he's saying put in a low bid. We didn't put in a low bid.
They accepted the same price. They accepted the same price.
The same price as PSG. Matty doesn't get it. It's
how many times have we pulled Matt up and he goes, I was told that. I'd suggest stop listening to people and start doing your own research.
You're saying where I agree with Matt is you're telling me a big club comes and gazumps us every single time. Yes, it's called the food chain. Players want to go to bigger clubs. It's really simple.
You do get the odd rarity, the very rare Dragoshin, very, very rare. But again, that hasn't worked out too well either, has it? So, yeah, okay, you get the odd rarity, but you can't start picking your Mals and a Doués and go, why don't we just put a bid in for those? Well, if everybody knew they were going to be that player, they all would have signed them. No? Like, come on.
It's mad. Well, he's 16 now. But the thing is, if he is only a 16-year-old, then what he should be doing, Ghosted, is actually listening a bit more rather than just saying really, really silly things. Really silly things.
You're big enough to come on and criticise my opinion and tell me I'm not allowed to criticise their opinion because they're at that age. You can kiss my ass.
Damn right. Come on, Matty. Come on. right? Here we go. So Perty's just sent me the screenshots of Tottenham received Randall Kolo Muani green light up to the player now. We had bids accepted for Tamori, Douay, and Muani. And none of them wanted to come to Spurs. I don't understand how people do not get this.
What are we doing here?
Basics of football. As my man Perchy says, what are we doing here? These are the basics of football, right? No one's abusing Matty K, by the way, but if Matty K is going to say silly things, I'm going to call it out. Matty, come on, right? You can't just make up. I get it. There are a million examples we can give where I would back you up, right? Daniel Levy not getting certain people over the line. Grealish, yes. Now, James, now we've got a conversation where I'm going to pile in and have a go at my man Levy. Can't have a go at my man Levy for when he's bidding for people like Ezra Douay and they pick bigger football clubs than us. You can't just make up what you want. You can't just make up that it was a low bid. You can't just make up that this didn't happen. This is ridiculous, right? It's like, for example, Liverpool fans right now, Liverpool are bidding right now for Florian Wirtz. If Florian Wirtz turns around and ultimately says, if they agree a price with Leverkusen, and it's looking to be massive, by the way, it's looking like it's going to be like 130, 140 million. If they agree a price with with Leverkusen, and then Wirtz turns around at the last minute and says, "Oh, sorry, Liverpool, Madrid have come in,"
yeah,
right? Then, as the Liverpool fans, yeah, you can be annoyed, but your owners have slapped down 120, 130 million pound bid. He wants to go to the bigger club. That's football. That's football. We've got to stop this. And unfortunately, it's people like Matty K in our WhatsApp group all the time just saying, just go and get, who was the best one? Who's the one that, just go and get Kimmich, who's on 350 grand a week at Bayern Munich. Just go and get him. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Just go. Just put the money down. Sure. Yeah. Joshua, it's Tottenham. I know you're at one of the biggest clubs in world football. We win the league most years and challenge for Champions Leagues. Would you like to leave and join Tottenham Hotspur to play for Angepostecoglou? Yes, we did just finish 17th. Oh, no, you're not interested. Okay, mate, thank you. Like, what are we doing? It's like, yeah, Bastoni turned us down. Bastoni turned Tottenham down. Like, madness. It's this, James, it's this, isn't it? It's this. What it is, these people have bought these players playing, I don't know, what is it, FIFA Pro now? FIFA,
yeah, I don't know. FC, I think it's called SC.
Yeah, they've bought these people playing FIFA. They've bought these people playing Football Manager, and they think that is exactly how you just go and get players. And unfortunately, great, yeah, agreed. Emery Fong TV, we agreed a verbal agreement for Tamori. And who turned us down? Tamori. Yeah. There's plenty of good players we could have got who weren't word builders. We put him easy. That's not what we're talking about. Kudos, not what we're talking about. We were talking about Ezra Douay, who's one of the best young players in world football. Like, this is, haven't we all watched what he's done this year? I watch him this year and go, yeah, now I understand why you said no to Spurs. Like, so sorry, I know we've gone off on a bit of a tangent. Matty, the link's in the chat if you want to come on and tell us what you know to be true. More than happy for that.
It won't, because it's an easy way out.
No, when we said, how did Chelsea go from no marks to big club? Answer is money. Sure, Peter. When Chelsea did it, hardly anyone had money. When Chelsea did it, Chelsea were the anomaly. Chelsea were blowing everyone out the water, mate. Right? Everyone. You think Abramovich came in and went 60 million there, 70 million there, 200 grand a week here. But no one else was doing it. Now, PSG are doing it. Madrid are doing it. Man City are doing it. Liverpool are doing it. Arsenal are doing it. Man United are doing it. Villa are even doing it. Newcastle can do it now. Yep. Atletico Madrid are doing it. There's a huge difference. Money only works if no one else has got money. If James and I both go to a market this weekend, right? Let's say we both go to an auction, actually, for a house, James, right? We've both got 100K to spend. What does it matter? We both got 100K.
Yeah.
Neither of us can outbid the other one. Like, it's
But I don't
mad.
think anyone's saying either money doesn't play a massive role, because of course it does. No one's saying, oh, no, money makes no difference. It doesn't make a difference. It does to an extent. If you're going to offer more money, more wages, there has to be a pull in the other direction. You can't just say, we'll sign. Well, look what we did with the likes of Brennan Johnson. Didn't they offer him like 30 million? We come in with 50 million. So there has to be more to it. Money, yes, is a big thing, and it does go a long way, but it ain't everything. You still need to have a pull. Like we was talking about Man United earlier. They probably went into the Cunha probably went in and said, what's your plan? And he went, this is our manager. He's sticking by it. You're going to be playing left, centre, forward, or whatever of the front three. We're going to have X, Y, Z, Z, Z. He goes, do you know what? I want to be a part of that. Yeah, I'll have a go at that. Yeah. You come into Tottenham and you go, this is what we got. We've got Ange, we don't know what's going on. Levy, we don't know what's going on. With the medical staff that make you train even though you're injured. There's so many, I don't know, why would you want to come? Regardless of the money, why would you want to come?
The thing that makes me laugh, first of all, Terry, you're chatting absolute shit. Come on, mate. The link's in there. Right? When you're saying get so many arguments on this channel over the years. Terry, over the years, it's getting harder and harder to do it because everyone's got money and the bigger clubs, right, will be more attractive to us, won't they? If anyone, listen, James, you know I say this all the time. I say this all the time. For me, Spurs have got to stop worrying about the Doués and the best players. For me, we need to be building with the next level down. The Cunhas, the Ezes, the Embuemos, the Botmans, the Bruno Guimaraes. These are the players that I think we should have been going after, that are much better than what we've got, but are the next level down from what the big boys are going to go and sign. Then, when you get yourselves better to that level, like how Poch did, then is when I need Daniel Levy to strike. So that's not true. And this is not true. Clubs like Chelsea and PSG aren't bigger. They just have owners that chuck monies at players. Problem is 164 Spur. Over the years, with all the money they have chucked and with all the things they have won, they have positioned themselves as bigger than Tottenham Hotspur. Will players join Chelsea or Spurs if it's a neck-and-neck race? 9 times out of 10, they're going to go to Chelsea. That's the food chain. And until we position ourselves as a good, stable team, and we need the owner to be on board with this, that's not going to change. Guys, I've worked for 2 Premier League football clubs. I can't keep telling you how this works. This is just so ridiculous that we all think these top players are going to drop what they're doing and join Tottenham. James, it drives me bananas, mate.
No, but it's also the narrative of you buying. You spend big, you get a good product. I mean, that Pochettino team, who was actually a big player that he signed? Kane wasn't, Son wasn't, Modric wasn't when he came in. I know he was before that, but Bale wasn't when he came in before that. Toby, maybe, but he was on loan at Southampton, not pulling up massive trees. So that, for me, it's all about scouting and a coaching for me. I think I've said on here loads of times, if you have a 6 out of 10 player and you've got a very good coaching, you're probably going to get an 8, maybe a 9 out of him week in, week out. If you've got a 7 out of 10 and a crap manager or playing in the wrong formation, you're going to get a 5 out of him.
Now, Terry, again, see, you're someone that's so Levy out, you're not listening. 2 of these. I've said I will slaughter Daniel Levy for the things he doesn't do. I can't slaughter Daniel Levy for when he does do things. That's called being balanced. I don't want Levy here. I would love it if a new owner comes in. But what I can't do is just turn around and go, oh, Levy didn't do this. Well, hang on. I understand why Levy can't get a Bastoni. I understand why he can't get a Doué. Right? Feel free to come on. All these people in the chat, they give it this. I'd love them to come on. Yeah? Again, Matty, unfortunately, Matty, you don't seem to understand how football transfers work. That's the problem with you, mate. When you're saying Levy is a joke, you also said last week that he gave you the best night of your life.
And he wants Ange to stay.
And you want Ange to stay. So, like, you've changed your mind on
better
so
for your
much,
club,
Matty,
but you want
every
Ange
day.
to stay. Make that make sense.
Listen, I just don't get it, right? I get it. Right? I get it. We all want to be linked with big footballers. James, I get it. I want to wake up tomorrow and see that Tottenham Hotspur are putting a bid for Kvaratskhelia of PSG. I get it, right? I now look at it from the grown-up point of view of, let me remove my Spurs hat. If he gets the phone call, why would he come to Tottenham? You have to ask yourself that question. Now ask yourselves this question, people. Whatever line of work you work in, James, you've got your own plumbing and heating company, right?
Yeah.
Right. So a company down the road rings you. Come and join us, right? We've only started in the last few months. Come and join us. I'm going to be your boss. You're going to work for me, blah, blah, blah. You're going to be paid. Okay, we're going to pay you the same. You're going to be blah, blah. Wouldn't you go, well, hang on, but I've got my own company. I've built this. I'm at a bigger company. I'm getting better work. Why am I joining you? Now they can chuck as much money as they want. Until there's a magical number, you're just going to go, well, hang on, that's my business. That's my life. Now think of that for everybody in their life. Everybody think about what you do for a job. And now think about smaller clubs coming in, smaller companies that coming in with you that are going to give you the same money as the big company that can offer you all the perks, all the success. And you're telling me you're going to go. Right? No, and again, Matty, you have not understood what I've done in that group. See, again, if you're going to start being disingenuous, I won't say that. If you're going to start being disingenuous, I'll block you. Listen to what I say. I say, if you lot, are going to be Levy out for the bad things he does, then you need to give him credit for winning cups as well. Right? I don't praise Levy for winning the cup. You don't understand what Danny and I do. You don't understand what we're doing. We're flipping it on you. Yeah? If you are going to berate Daniel Levy at every second for everything, Danny and I say to you, cool, what about the trophy then? Why doesn't he get praise for that?
And I haven't seen anybody not praise Ange for going defensive and winning that game. I've heard people say that United were a better team, but I haven't heard anyone criticise Ange for doing what he did to get us over the line. So again, rather than sitting behind a keyboard saying stuff and moaning at people, come on and say your bit face to face and actually have a debate rather than hiding behind a keyboard.
It's just madness. Somebody sent me this. I won't say who. Somebody sent me the better example of how Levy was bad, and I completely agree with this, is him putting in a bid to Crystal Palace on the last or the second to last day of the transfer window for Guehi. That for me, I go, oh, come on, Daniel. That's what are we doing? Come on, what are you trying to do? That is now just a fake bid. There's no time to get the deal done. What a mug. The Doué, Tomori, Colomawani, I can't knock him for. There's got to be balance. And the problem is everybody now is so bad. Everyone is so bad on Levy now that he can't do anything. And I get it. I understand it. Even under Poch, you, man, we're not able to sign the best talents in the world. Of course not. We're Tottenham. Mike Zappa said, Savva, you said yourself that we should get to the levels we were with Poch. Well, we were there. No.
Can you go to that comment before? I want to argue that's not true. So they said that you couldn't sign the talent. That's not true. If you go back and actually look at our fan base are so deluded. They went, no one can get in over Kyle Walker. We can't buy a right back that's better than him, so we'll sign no one. We can't get a striker because we've got Harry Kane. No one gets in over Harry Kane. You can't sign a winger here because no one gets in over him. So actually, I tend to disagree. I believe that a lot of fans get so caught up in this fairy tale they can't process that there's better. They only look at the Premier League or X, Y, Z. They don't look further afield.
There you go. Well, there you go, Matty. So that's what makes it very difficult having a reasoned debate. I think as you get a little bit older, you will understand there's two sides to the story. if you've said, I don't give credit to Levy for anything, like I've previously stated. I have my own opinions. With another chairman who is ambitious and cares for our club, I'd have these nights all the time. Sure. So now let me ask you this, Matty. Which clubs, let me ask you this. Let's do this, James, right? How many clubs have those nights all the time?
One. 1.5.
I would say, we look
City
at it,
and Liverpool.
Man United have done for the last 20, 30 years, right? One of the biggest clubs in the world, right? City over the last decade. Chelsea with the oil money, right? Arsenal don't even have them all the time. Who else? So what we're doing is, what we're saying is now, this is the problem. And yes, we want yes, we want a new owner, but all of these people are just assuming that a new owner comes in and now automatically we win a trophy like that every year, all the time. This is where it's really silly. It's very silly. A new owner solves everything. Okay, so let's ask that question then. New owners solve everything.
Well,
why aren't Arsenal having those nights all the time?
I'd like to ask Matty, is he one of these fans that says the buck always stops at the top? So that's my question for Matt. Does the buck always stop at the top? So do you blame Levy for all the bad is what I'm asking. I just want to ask just a simple yeah, I know that or not. Because I'd actually genuinely like to know what he says to that. Levy doesn't get praise.
Look. No. But again, look how these people go the other way. Look how these people go the other way. It's not about praising. Listen to the words that are coming out. If you're going to give credit, if you're not going to give credit when something's bad, you have to give credit when something's good, right? Isn't that the way it works at work? If, like, James, if you've got an employee, right? You've got an employee, right, who last month you sent to fit in a bathroom at a house, really big job, make you loads of money. The customer calls you up as the boss and says, your guy or girl has made an absolute shit show of this. Get round this, sort this out now. They have fucked it up, right? You're going to go around there, sort it out, and you're going to have a word with that employee and be like, what's going on? This is ridiculous. You're better than that, blah, blah, blah. You get a phone call. Wow. Whoever you've sent here, they've done a magnificent job here. This is absolutely brilliant. This is everything I wanted, i.e. winning the Europa League. Brilliant. You're going to pull that person to the side and say, just had great feedback on you. Thanks for that. Whatever you did, yeah, it is a bonus or what, I don't know. But our fans want to go all one way and not the other. So listen, Terry, listen to what I'm saying. You keep doing this a lot, mate, and you're pissing me off if I'm honest, right? I hate the fact that Daniel Levy is on holiday right now while we should be making signings. I also acknowledge that it's probably not even Daniel Levy doing it. It will probably be a mix of Paratici, Lang, whoever, blah, 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 right? That doesn't mean that I have to blame Daniel Levy for every little thing. Everybody blames Daniel Levy. When Man United beat us in a penalty shootout in the final, Daniel Levy didn't win us a trophy. All right, well, Daniel Levy wasn't in the penalty shootout. When Spurs lost to Blackburn in the League Cup final under Hoddle, well, hang on, Daniel Levy wasn't in that game, and he got us to the final. There has to be a balance. Now, the balance on the other side of things, right? Sacking Jose Mourinho before a cup final. Yeah, that's on you. That's on you, Daniel. Balance, James, surely, right? There has to be that balance. And people like Terry now just can't, there's no balance from them ever. And that's seeped into people like little Matty K, who doesn't even know our history and is coming out with all silly things.
No, exactly that. And the reason I was saying about the buck, if the buck stops at the top, it has to be for all the good and bad. It can't be just one. It can't be, the buck stops at the top for all the shit, but what about all the good? No, that stops at the bottom. Makes no sense. Has to be both ways. You can't say, well, Daniel Levy, look at the Poch team. Poch worked wonders. Well, he gave him all the tools to work under that squad. He gave him that squad. Look, I think the biggest thing for me with Daniel Levy is he prioritised everything other than the squad. I think that he should be getting in more or better players. I think at some point he should say, hold on a minute, we're just linked with Eze. Now you want Johnson. Like, I'm going to be the bigger man here and say, no, this is my business. We're not doing that. So there's a lot of things that I hold him accountable for that. But at the same time, I'm also big enough to praise if he's done something good. I'm not an idiot. And unfortunately, I think people that just leave you out without reason. So that's the most important part. Without reason, are just deluded. They just want something for the sake of it without actually having a reason to bash them with.
No, completely agree. Look, Glenn, big up, absolutely agree. This is why the saying, credit where credit is due. It's not. It's credit only where I like the person I'm crediting. You know, so let me ask this question. If Daniel Levy goes and buys Eze from Crystal Palace, is he getting any credit? Is he getting any? I'm just asking.
If he signs Sane and Eze, I tell you what, I'm Daniel Levy in.
But you know what? For me, I don't even think it needs to come down to Levy in, Levy out. Listen, I want new ownership at this club. I do. I think we've had these new owners for a very long time. But I'm also a grown man that can understand that I can't lay the blame of everything at one man's feet. Has he made loads of mistakes? Yes. Has he done good things? Yes. Somebody's asked me in the chat, so why am I Levy out? The Levy out thing for me, the reason for me is it's not the finals that we don't get over the line. It's not because he can't land world-class players. The Levy out thing for me is when we have got into those good positions under Harry Redknapp, right? Under Conte, under Poch. You can almost say now with the Champions League. For me, it's that we don't continue that. And again, that's not world-class players. Talking about when we got Toby Alderweireld, good, solid player, right? We don't go and do that anymore. We don't go and do that. And that, for me, is the issue. So if he turns around and says, there's Eze. Go on, there's Eze. There's Sane. There's Paulinho. Now, I know it's not going to happen, which is why I want him out, because he doesn't kick on. But it's not because he's not getting unrealistic targets that people like Matty who play FIFA think you're going to get. There has to be balance.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely agree. And it's similar for me. For me, I think that he's so focused is on earning money and not spending money in the right areas. And it's little things like he would rather up the season ticket prices rather than, lower match days or food or anything. It's always up. Prices are going up. Shirts. I think our kits are the highest kits in the Premier League. That ain't acceptable. Our season tickets are highest in the league. That ain't acceptable. So there's so much there that I would love to bash him with. The amount of times we've been in a good position, like now, mate. If Cunha and Buemo come in, I would be absolutely overjoyed. But again, he's missed the trick. He may have missed the trick by not even attempting to sign them. For me, I think if you want to move to the next level, he has the ability to do so. He just chooses not to. And that's why I'm Daniel Levy out. I think it's always money before fans.
And for that, I completely agree with you. The problem is, I think that if people say anything nice about Levy, oh, you want Levy in? Well, no. I'll say nice things about Brennan Johnson. Doesn't mean I want him starting on my right wing. Doesn't mean I don't want him gone, right? See, it's all right. All saying this, people can say what they want, but when they're not facts, this is the difference. We're in this world now. People go, my opinion, but it's not an opinion when what you said about the Doué deal and the Kolo Muani deal. That's not opinions. I gave you the factual evidence. We can't see Drooler. This is the problem. People feed into people that they can just make things up and it's okay. Stick to what you believe in.
To come on and say his opinion, so that makes absolutely no sense. We was asking him to come on and say his opinion to actually have a debate. We're not going to kind of get him on here and start stabbing him with pitchforks. We're here to actually debate and understand why you think like that, and I'll tell you why I believe that's not wrong. That's the whole point of this show. Otherwise, what are we doing here? What's the point?
But what we're doing here, we're enabling. What Drooler's just done, big up to Drooler, by the way, but what Drooler's just done, she's enabled. So Matty K has got all his information wrong about Doué, Muani, Tamori. He's got all of that wrong, but people like Drooler just go on, kid, say what you want because it's what you believe. Okay, but he believes what he's believing is wrong. What he's believed is wrong. That's like me saying, we're thinking of an example. That's like me going,
that's like me telling you Santa's still real.
Right. And I go, do you know what? That's like me turning around and saying, here we go. It's like me turning around and going, Klinsmann is Spurs' all-time top goal scorer. And you going, well, no, it's Harry Kane. I'm going, it's Klinsmann. It's my opinion. No, it's Harry Kane. Someone in the chat going, that's it, Savva. Just stick to what you believe. But what do you mean? I'm wrong. Like this is crazy. You can't just have people believing what they want when it's not true. Right. Listen to this and tell me what you think of this. Right. When everyone positions themselves in a corner where Levy is at fault for everything, then if that's the position, when a player works out, then that is on Levy. If we win a trophy, that's on Levy as well. If you blame everything on Levy, then you praise all the good things on Levy as well. If you isolate your position, you expose your double standards. Bang on. And that's the point why people get so pissed off with Levy, because if you are, the buck stops here, then the buck stopped there when we win a European trophy. The buck stops there when you've got Mickey van der Ven. The buck stops there when you want to praise Bergvall. The buck stops there when you want to praise Glasner coming in as new manager. The buck stops there with Pedro Porro. The buck stops, right? This is the problem. What none of these people can seem to do is have that balance and go, do you know what? I can't stand Daniel Levy, but for this over here, fair play. I can't do it. No, Drew, no. Again, see, you're enabling. No, we were talking about the Doué, Tomori, and Mawani situation where we were saying we put in small bids. We didn't put in small bids. All of our bids were accepted. It was the player on each occasion that turned us down. Again, we're enabling. Matty, we put in a small bid. I don't give credit for that. We didn't put in a small bid. The players did not want to come. It's mad. Look, unfortunately, I can't keep bringing up. Matty's too childish to understand this. He can't keep doing it. Can't keep doing it. Look, all I'm saying is, James, you're allowed to want somebody not to be at the club, but also allowed to praise. I'm allowed to say I don't rate Brennan Johnson as a footballer, but admit that he scores a lot of goals. I don't know why everything has to just be full on hate. Like full on, this guy is the devil. Yeah. And yet these people are the ones in my group chats, right? Sitting there going to me, why are you not happier about winning a Europa League? Well, why are you guys happier? Daniel Levy hired the manager that won you the Europa League. Daniel Levy bought the players that won you the Europa League. It's madness. Madness. I just do not get it.
Yeah, for me, it's almost, in my opinion, it's like, everyone, that's that guy. Don't be friends with him because he's always the bad. What happened? It must have been him. It must have been him. And then everyone kind of gets on the same. No, he's the bad guy. It can't have been him. He didn't do anything good. He's just the bad guy. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. For me, and the way I grew up is, I would much rather someone come to my face and say, I think you've made a mistake here, or you was a bit out of tone there, or X, Y, Z. And I go, you know what? Yeah, fair enough. Me and Danny is probably the perfect example. The amount of times we've gone back and forth, and at the end, one of us has gone, you know what? I don't agree, but I completely see your point. Like, fair play, I see your point. Whereas a lot of these people, they'll never see the point because it's rose-tinted glasses. Like grow up a little bit and go, you know what? Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Yeah, he must take some credit for. Even if they said, you know what, I give him full credit for winning that Europa League, like Daniel Levy, fair play. And I actually don't give him any credit for losing but I blame him for losing the Champions League final, because when it comes push to shove and we're bringing on the likes of Harry Winks of sub, that is for me where I go, you know what, I get you. You've got to be able to give credit for winning Europa League, and I'll also criticise for not having a big enough squad to win the Champions League in that final. But a lot of people won't be able to do that. They just go, no, he lost the Champions League final because of the squad. He lost that because of this. I'm sorry. Life isn't like that. You need to grow up a little bit and look at the bigger picture.
No, absolutely. And by the way, Riggs, no, we're not going in on a kid. If you're old enough to tune into my show, which says on YouTube, it's not made for kids, right? If you're old enough to be in here and you're old enough to comment and you're old enough to give your opinion, you're going to get it back. I'm going in on Terry as well. I'll go in on anyone. Don't do this. I hate this. Yeah, you're spreading this fake narrative that everyone who wants Levy out can't praise. Terry, until you man up and come on, I'm not going to bring up your comments, right? Because
we were just talking about Matt, and Matt was the one that was not giving him any praise. So again, the subject was about Matt saying, "I will not give him any credit, Levy out." That's why we spoke about that.
And what I'm more referring to, James, is look at our WhatsApp group of the YouTubers. All the YouTubers that are so adamant Levy out. Have you seen any of them give an ounce of praise to Levy for anything? Nothing.
No.
So, Terry, this wasn't about you, right? This wasn't about you, and you've come in and tried to play the white knight. It wasn't about you. I know who I'm talking about, and the people I'm talking about know who I'm talking about, right? It's very important in life that when giving opinions, facts are actually presented around it as well. I think it's very important. We can't just be saying whatever we want, and then people go, "That's my opinion." I hear that all the time. I don't like this manager. Why? Just my opinion. But why? Just because. Great. I don't like this player. Why? Well, just because. What happened to providing context to it?
It's the same with Tell.
About it.
Let's sign Tell. Why? I think he's got potential. Based on what? I don't know.
Right. Based on what? Exactly. Matty, I'm going to put you in a timeout, mate. You're starting to now say you're getting personal insults. You haven't. I'm just saying you are too childish to understand. That's not personal. It's just you come across like you don't understand anything. You know, listen, for all those in the chat, I've done this a million times, that just say, if you had chucked more money at Doué, he would have come to Spurs instead of PSG. How much money do you think we're going to chuck at a player? Where does it stop, James? If PSG offer, I don't know what he's on. PSG offer him 200 grand a week. What, 300? Like, are we just going to blow teams out the water suddenly? It's just a bit mad. It's just mad.
Listen, I want Levy to be investing more money, and I do agree with part of what they're saying. I believe that if you up your wages and you up your transfer budget, you get better players than what we've got, along with the coaching side of things and scouting side of things. You do get better players with what you've got, i.e. Jack Grealish. We could have had him if we upped the price. I completely get that. There has been players like that. God forbid, even maybe someone like Sol Campbell, if he would have stopped messing about and just stumped up the money straight away, stopped the messing about, he probably would have signed him as well. So there's been loads of players where that's happened.
Right.
But it's
James,
not
look,
the be all end all.
Example of this morning. Look.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes wants to play at the top level of European football, was turned down 700 grand a week. Right?
Yeah.
I just don't like this notion that we've gone to as football fans now, that everything is just pay a bigger wage. Footballers want to join the bigger clubs. And at the moment, where you see where we've been for 7 or 8 years, we need to build. This is why when I'm seeing last night, people going, "Oh, we don't want a manager that just finishes 6th." Okay, but surely next season we need to get away from 17th and start getting, don't we, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
No, everyone wants to go from 17th to winning. And it's like, hey, what about the process in between and the build? And I just feel like the whole world's gone a bit silly. Kate said, "Savva, don't think Doué would come to Spurs." Everything that, Kate, listen, you know, players like Desiree Doué, his agent will be telling him everyone wants you. Right? Yeah. He's not going to go to Spurs. He might be interested. He might want to hear what we've got to say. And he was, because we got to negotiation stage. But, you know, it's gone a bit mad. All right, mate, I got it. Yeah. But all I'm talking about is just going to the next level up. And that's what annoys me with Levy. That's where I can't stand Daniel Levy.
Absolutely. You've got to, well, Rome wasn't built in a day. Like some fans are saying about it playing XYZ and turning a nose up at Mbuemo. I'm sorry, but you can't be turning your nose up with players like that when we've got players like we have. You have to go bit by bit by bit by bit. You can't just jump into the deep end. It doesn't work.
Oh, mate, for sure. By the way, when people tell me not to interact with people in the chat, that's what I've built my whole YouTube channel off for years. So I'm never gonna be that guy. Look, I think that what we've got to ask ourselves is this: in the position we're in at the moment, we're in the Champions League, which is good, but we've just finished 17th, which is bad, right? Footballers and their agents will look and go, well, what's going on there? They will. They're not just going to be sold immediately with 300 grand a week, go and join Tottenham. Well, hang on. I want to know what's going on first. Who else they signing?
Yeah,
Why did they finish 17th? What's
yeah,
happening with their manager?
yeah.
Now, for moments like right now is where I don't want Daniel Levy at this football club. Moments like right now where I'm going, hang on, what are we doing? It's all up in the air. Is the manager staying? What players we sign? Moments like that, I want Daniel Levy out. But I just can't blame him for everything. I just think it's
Yeah.
it's really, really silly to blame him for 100% of the football club. It's just mad. It's utter madness.
Yeah. Or if you do have a good thing, then you need to praise that one good thing. You can't smash him consistently without any. That's my opinion, anyway. I believe that in life, you praise the good, you criticize the bad. Otherwise, you'll get nowhere.
Absolutely, mate. Mark said, I can guarantee no matter what we had offered Douay, he's glad he went to PSG. Mate, of course. Again, when I'm seeing people going, we're bigger than Chelsea, we're bigger than PSG, we're not. We're not in any way, shape, or form bigger than these football clubs. Trophy-wise, finance-wise, personnel-wise. And
Fans.
listen, you know, George, Michael agreed. What we've got to do over the next few years is slowly build that. This summer, like you said, get in an Eze and a Sane. Next summer, add another one or two to that. Then the bigger players look and go, okay, look what they're building over there. And that's where I have a go at Daniel Levy, when we're at that stage, right? But I don't know.
See, I think I agree with. Well, I actually disagree with a slow build in a way, because I don't think our team is as bad as they make it out. I think that we get a good coach and a good manager in. I think our team elevates massively, and then the stars like Eze and Sane push us push us into a top 4 spot for me. And then if your aim is to win the league, you go again, like you were saying, and go again. But I don't think we necessarily need to start building again and take 3 or 4 years, because I think we've got a good base already. We need the chairman to actually to step up now, get the manager of that we can build with, and then the players that are at that top level, i.e., your Ezes and Sane.
Okay, so Optimus Prime Spurs said, we are a bigger club than Chelsea. What an awful take. They're a better run, of course, and have high ambition, but we are bigger. On what metric? Right now, are we bigger than them?
So I would say bigger club is such a vast statement. I would say bigger club, maybe overall. Bigger club in the last 2-3 decades? Absolutely not. They've won everything continuously for God knows how long. So longevity, yeah, maybe us. But if you're talking the last 20, 30 years, ain't they like the most successful club in it, or was till City, the most successful club in England?
Yeah. Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, okay, recency bias, they're bigger than us. If you're going to go like flip-flopping side to side, yeah, fair. But if you're going for a bigger club overall, I mean, look at the sort of parade and stuff. I don't think Chelsea would do that for a Europa League. So in that respect, I'd say, yeah, our fans are a lot better than the Chelsea fans. But there's a lot to it to just say bigger club.
This is spot on. When we say bigger, it doesn't mean anything. These clubs are powerhouses.
Yeah.
These clubs are powerhouses. And the thing is as well, I keep explaining this, right? Speak to pro footballers, right? Pro footballers will have a look and go, who wins more often than not? I'm going there, right? We keep doing this. This is the thing. You've got to build up to it. As I said, and Buemo's, yeah, things like that we should be going for. But maybe Ange doesn't want Buemo. He didn't want Eze last year. Maybe he doesn't want Buemo. But I just feel like we think we're bigger than we are. I think that's a massive problem that we have here. We think we're bigger than we are. Yeah, we've got a lot of history. We really do. But when we start saying, look at what Chelsea have done in the last 20 years. Only Man City have won more than Chelsea in the last 20 years. Multiple Champions Leagues, multiple Premier Leagues, FA Cups, League Cups, Super Cups. You know, I just don't know when we got to the stage where our ego can't allow us to acknowledge that teams are better and other clubs will attract the players before we do. See the fourth saying Spurs are bigger is like saying you should work for IBM rather than this new company that has been doing great for 10 years. Yeah, IBM. Right. Mate, see to the fourth. It's just people have got to, it's Matty, stop with the rudeness from the screen. Matty, you've got to understand, if you come in with a big opinion, you're gonna get stick. If you come in with a big opinion and then just abuse Daniel Levy, people are going to go back at you, mate. That's what happens, right?
I didn't see any please, thank yous or any nice polite words from him either in the other way. Let's not.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone abuse you, by the way, Matty. No one's abused you, right? I know that it's 2025, right? But abuse isn't someone calling you childish. Abuse is when I get called a CUNT. Abuse is when I'm called a paedophile, right? Abuse is when my wife is called a whore in my YouTube comment section. Yeah, you have not been abused, but you come out with lots of things which are not 99% true. This is the problem, Matty. You're saying a lot of these things. They're not 99% true. They're not 99% true. This is the problem, Matty. Calm down. You're not being abused, all right? You're a big personality. I'm trying to bring you into my shows. If you want, I can just ignore your comments, right? But if you're going to go big at people in the chat, I see you. You go big. And James is right. Lots of people go big in the chat, right? And then when they're called out, oh, no, but I'm being abused. And what? Mate, you're a juxtaposition. Jesus Christ, Matty. Jesus Christ, Matty. Give it a rest. Listen, I am going to leave it there, James. I'm going to leave it there. Big up to the Assassinator who said, not surprised. They always reactive, not proactive. Absolutely. And you know what? That is exactly why I don't want Levy. That is why I don't want Levy, because we're reactive and not proactive. I don't not want Levy because Doué turns us down for PSG. I do not want Levy because Colomawani goes to Juve instead of Tottenham. I understand these things because I'm not stupid. I don't think that every player in the world is going, you know where I want to go this summer? Tottenham. Again, all the people like Matty that are Ange in, you ever thought that maybe some of these players don't want to play for Ange? You ever thought that maybe they don't like the style? I'm not knocking Ange. I'm just saying, James.
You know what frustrates me? Again, it's if you have an opinion, voice it. You should always voice your opinion, but you can't just knock someone else's opinion without taking it on board. If someone's provided you facts, evidence, stats, you kind of have to at some point go, fair play. Yeah, all right. You was right there. I was wrong there. Whatever. It doesn't make sense.
What are you talking about? Who's playing victim? Do you mean? What are you talking about? Again, unfortunately, we got trolls like Izcan in the chat. Big up to you, Izcan. Phil Coys, first sensible thing he said today. Ange, Levy and the players all deserve praise for that trophy lift. Yep. As Sean always says, right, there's plenty of the blame pie to go around, or the praise pie. Everyone gets a slice. Big up to Chris Motley. So will I be streaming the Heritage TV barbecue? I'm sure we'll go live at some point. I shouldn't imagine I'm going to stream the whole thing. That would be really weird. I'm not sure my wife would like my house being streamed live. But big up to you, Chris. It will be an interesting day, that is for sure. And Ali Garcia has said, big up, Savva. Have you been on the sunbeds? You look like you got a tan. No, that's this. Ready? It's just a change in light. There you go. It's all it is. It's a change in light. It's a big up to you, Ali. Always very generous. Look, guys and girls, I'm all for the different opinions. I'm all for the Levy out. I'm all for whatever anyone wants to do. But we can't just make things up. I've said that for years. We can't
The one thing I want to say, the one thing I want to say is, and this isn't knocking Matty or anybody that has a different opinions. Me and you, Savva, let's be honest, I've had full blown back and forths continuously, and at the end of the show, it's like Oh, that was good, mate. Yeah, that probably be a good show to watch. Well, just if you're taking that sort of stuff so sensitive, I would say work on yourself rather than anything else, because it's all opinions, it's all back and forth debate. It's nothing serious.
Yeah. Like what I find funny is, just quickly before we go, James, right? What I find funny is now I know if ever I say, yeah, I want Levy out, they'll go, oh, you were sticking up for him the other day. And it's almost like you have to be 100% hating everything. And this is what I mean. I implore people like Matty K. Listen, I like little Matty. I do. I love his passion for Spurs, right? I implore him though, when he's in our group chat the other day, right? Saying this is the best day of my life, right? When he's in the chat going the other day, my gaffer, my manager, my gaffer, this is the best day of my life. Yeah. When it's we're European champions every day, cool. So Daniel Levy needs to take some credit for that. That's all it is. It can't be, I'm a European champion to spite of Daniel Levy.
Absolutely.
Right? It's got to be, and that's all it is. And I think if these people just put a little bit, if they just put a little bit of respect there, I think people would turn around and go, absolutely spot on. You are right. Levy does need to F off, but just a little bit of respect there. He bought you Brennan Johnson. He outbid Brentford, didn't he, for Brennan Johnson, who got the winning goal in a cup final. He got you Pedro Porro, who everyone loves. He got you Romero, Van der Ven, Vicario, Udogie. Bentancur. He went to Juventus and got Bentancur and Kulu. He got James Maddison. So you've got to just a little bit of give and take. That's all it is. A little bit of give and take. So, guys, do you know what? You know what? Listen, absolutely. Nebo D, I tell you what makes me laugh is, and I see you trolling me sometimes. I see you, mate. What makes me laugh is it's the number of people that always go, oh, this debate, that debate. Isn't that what you come and watch? Isn't that what you want? Don't you want the energy from me? Don't you want me selecting people in the chat and calling out their comments? That's what you want. Let's not pretend we don't. Absolutely, Ellie. He's not always the bad guy. He's been great in business side and winning 2 trophies. Kudos. But I think he's not done all he can. Absolutely. Bang on.
Agreed.
Bang on. And that is why I don't want him here. But it is what it is, right? It's like me. It's like, imagine you split up with your wife, right? We are ending the show right now, by the way. Imagine you split up with your wife and she's given you a beautiful kid. And then you go, I hate everything that woman done for me. What about your child? I hate everything she's done for me. Well, hang on, what about your beautiful child? No, I hate everything. You can't just hate everything. Guys, girls, I am going to leave it there. James, thank you so much. Loved that. Couple of hours of chewing this fat. Guys, I'm live at 2 p.m. on my second channel, talking all things transfers across the Premier League and Europe. And then I'm live with Sean at 3 p.m. on his channel. And then I'm live at 7:30 p.m. with the Danlist on his channel. And then I'll be live on my own channel again at 9:30 or 10 tonight. So you're going to see my face all over the internet.
That's why, listen, that's why, in fairness to you, mate, people should at least be liking or subbing, because it ain't an easy thing to do. Talking about the same stuff over and over again, it ain't easy. It's easy for me to pop on once a week or whenever I do, but credit to you, mate. You definitely put the graft in. So,
yeah, I try. I do try and put the graft in, and whatever it is, if people love me, hate me, cool. I'm comfortable with it. I've got a good family, good wife. I don't care about all that. But just smash that like button. Please subscribe. We're nearly at 18,200. 2 more super chats have just come in. 7, big up to my man, Sanctuary 7. Said, remember, if not for Levy, Ange wouldn't be here. Right. So all the people that are now suddenly Ange in, they wanted Levy to sack Ange last year. So Levy did something, right? Big up to you, Sanctuary 7 and Terry O'Shea. Dude, you know it's just a debate. You know it's the heat of the moment. It's never personal. Never personal. Much love to you. Thank you, Terry. You've got to come on one day and stop your lies. Just kidding. Terry, you're always welcome to come on, man. Big up to you. Take care. Thanks, James. Big up to everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs, and buy some bloody footballers.